know, that's the normal prediction, and that's what you're thinking. I still think that is true today, by the way. A little bit of a spoiler, but they are still so heavily favored.
Yeah, they are so heavily favored, and I think I want to go back to that seed we planted a little earlier.
Cool. Be right back, folks.
They are so heavily favored. Everyone thinks they're going to win. Everyone thinks they're going to win, specifically today. I felt exactly the same last year. I felt exactly the same in years past. So what is making the difference?
What's going to make the difference for KT?
For Gen.G.
I think Gen.G are going to win.
Gen.G, I just set it up saying that they didn't win last year, didn't they?
I think the difference
they didn't win the year before.
They have a team that is so well set up around the players they have. Canyon has Duro, who is happy to play that role of that pseudo jungler. They've got Keen, who's super dominant on the top side, and it feels like everyone has just been much, much more consistent. Last year, we did see some oopsies. We did see some bad games. Even when they won MSI, there were cracks in the game plan. Now it feels like no team can even touch them when it comes to moving around the map, and even if they can match some of the individual positions, they can't match every single one.
It seems that they even get away with playing drafts that you wouldn't give to any other team, but they roll over the opponents. We already teased with the LCK predictions from a while ago, and I'd love to see what our predictions are from the desk, but everyone we asked, and if it'll be the same story. No!
Whoa, okay.
All right, I have some questions for
what is
certain
over
people
there,
on this desk. Yeah.
Well, we'll hear Azale's point of view later, but Dracos.
Okay. So you'll agree with me, and I know you all will, that every rational piece of evidence points to Gen.G winning this.
Yes.
But it did last time, too. And I think the thing that people don't appreciate about KT is sometimes you need to understand that the irrational is what matters to this team. I don't know if it's the primordial force of every KT fan doubting them more than I ever could, but I feel like it might be on the cards. So sometimes, because Gen.G should win this, it is the correct result. Sometimes in the pursuit of that result, you got to make an incorrect position, because I am excited. KT forever, BDD and Cuz are winning worlds. They're the greatest team we've ever seen. Easy 3-0.
Wow, that was terrible.
No, Law's not cheating on anyone. Law is making sure that KT don't have the excitement debuff. What is it? Also, by the way, I'm using my Poro teabag.
Gen.G 3-0. She's looking him in the eyes.
It was not that upper bracket upset. And I gave them a game because I do think KT have been performing a little bit better. But I do think this.
Yeah, KT Rolster have actually been playing very well this tournament so far.
Yeah, I
think and the pace at which they've been taking fights has worked very well against their opponents. Yes, I heard Dracos use the E word. I'm sure KT fans are not happy with that at all.
And I think if they're the pedigree of a team like T1, you give them the plot armor, you believe a little bit more. But KT is a team with reverse plot armor. It feels like the odds are perpetually stacked against them. This is for sure a 3-0. If you take out all superstition,
KT top esports would be the funniest timeline for that, by the way.
And crazier things have happened that world, so I like that.
Shox' dress is so cool.
For all the KT fans around the world who have been waiting for this moment for their team, if they can make it happen. But on the other side, we have Gen.G and we have Chovy. He has his eyes set on the World Championship trophy and on those grand finals. But at Worlds, you got to step up and take it, or will we see the KT roller coaster ride of all time? Let's get into our semifinal.
Okay, let's see what. So these teasers, they had to record them before the quarterfinals, by the way. Did I run adverts? Yeah, I think I did.
Gen.G.
They film for every possible outcome. They do, but they do some generic stuff, and then of course they have to adapt it on the fly.
제가 생각하는 가장 아름다운 룰은 사람들이 눈치채기
the
힘든 디테일인 것 같아요.
paving stones.
사람들이 알아채기 어려운 디테일일수록
Where did they film this? Might have been in a studio. Maybe they took it to a local park or something like that.
심리전을 섞으면서 하고 있다고 생각하기 때문이에요. 작년에 월즈에 떨어지고 나서 월즈 경기들을 보는데 이대로 아무것도 안 하면 진다라는 생각으로 무언가를 만들어내려는 그 움직임이 눈에 가장 인상 깊게 새겨졌던 것 같아요. 그 깨달음을 얻고 더 이상 아무것도 두렵지 않습니다.
4강전을 정말 많이 왔어요.
Made it though with JDG.
21년, 22년, 23년 이렇게. 근데 늘 넘어졌어요. 그런 실수를 어떻게 안 하려고 생각했냐면 초심으로 돌아가는 게 정답이었던 것 같습니다.
完美与谦逊集于一身者，即为主宰。季中冠军赛冠军，几近不败的传说。
Oh yeah, they count the Samsung World's wins in 2014 and 2017 as Gen.G's wins because they took over the slot. Oops. Not punch the mic, Alex.
룰러 선수와 인연이 되게 깊은 것 같아요. 17년도에는 상대로 만나서 제가 지고 20년도와 21년도에는 동료로서 경기에서 또 지고 23년도에는 상대로 만나서 제가 또 지고 올해는 또 이렇게 만나게 됩니다.
孤星之光难破长夜
승부욕이 좀 세서 보통 포기를 안 하는 것 같은데 이 게임 자체로는 제가 자신감이 있어가지고 더욱더 포기가 안 되는 것 같아요.
但众星齐聚
I guess they can record the voiceover later.
天尽耀
사실 그때 굉장히 좀 진 게 충격적이었고.
Like the Candice voiceover. The players you probably can't get a hold of because they need to be practicing with only 2 days between well, like 3 days or 4 days between semis and their quarters and their match. That's a great zoom in. Love that zoom in with the health bars fading in.
각자 역할을 잘 수행했을 때 나오는 그 시너지가 롤이라고 생각합니다. 젠지가 저희와의 경기에서
Was that Wolf, not Atlas? I think that was Wolf, not Atlas, no?
압도적의 반란 보여드리겠습니다.
I thought that was Wolf's voice in the background. Oh. Huh, long ass teaser actually.
떠나고 소비 선수가 제 자리에 들어오게 됐는데
Yeah, BDD replaced by Chovy.
받아들이기가 쉽지 않았는데
Oh, very cool, the Floating Islands. Very, very wuxia.
결국에 제가 할 수 있는 거는 제 실력을 보여주는 것밖에 없었던 것 같습니다.
Oh, the call. It's a remix of the call.
항상 그래왔던 것처럼 제 길을 꿋꿋이 걸어나가겠습니다.
월드 우승과 함께 만족스러운 경기력까지 보이겠습니다.
银汉迢迢紫薇熠熠摘星必在此行只有一方可冲破天幕直至星河
꿈은 언젠가는 이루어집니다.
BDD 선수 꿈 깨시길 바랍니다.
Time to wake up. Let's go. Where's Sam gone for vacation? He's going to Disney World. I couldn't go because my visa is still in, like being renewed in Germany. I can't really leave until that's done. Okay. Let's get ourselves those walkouts, man. This guy's been great actually at the walkouts. He's been very hype.
上海，让我们热烈欢呼，迎接首场4强对决，Gen.G对阵KT。
Don't let Florida man get him. I'll try. Well, I sadly don't have that ability. Hey, Medic's casting. So, Medic's... Hang on. So, Medic's doing this one. Flowers is doing the second semifinal. Does that mean it's Atlas Finals? Hey, we get Chronicler as well. Of course we get Chronicler for this one. Of course you do. Really hoping it won't be a 3-0.
All that they've talked about all year, despite their domestic success, despite the MSI trophy, they need not just the win here.
Atlas Chronicler final. I know it's not Atlas Chronicler because they said that they've done their last cast together. So we know it's not that, but I don't know whether one of them will be on. I mean, Chronicler could be on Desk, could be on Cast, Atlas could be on Cast, or not. Will Chronicler cast finals? I didn't. Wait, did he do last finals, Chronicler? Did he do last finals?
Was one against Gen.G.
Am I tripping when I'm saying that?
Worlds being able to win this improbable match, I think, really does have a bit of a poetic.
This would be Atlas's third finals in 5 years. It's a very good caster.
How beautiful that is that they now have this opportunity to really prove themselves here.
I mean, who else could it be? I mean, it could be Dracos, right? He's still in Shanghai. I'm trying to think of who's still there. Is Atlas still out there? I think he must be, right?
That's the question for KT, isn't it? Can you
wait, is Atlas still out there?
Can you find that moment once again to take down Gen.G like you did to make it here to Worlds? For Gen.G, you've won MSI 2 times back-to-back. You have been the presumptive champion of Worlds for the last couple of years, and now you have to prove that you can take that next step because it's been...
Oh no, Atlas said he was getting on a plane, so maybe... Hang on. I think Atlas is already...
And I am left wondering what we're going to see.
He said he was already on a plane. I actually not sure then if Atlas was on a... If said he was on a plane. I'm not sure if he said he was done with Worlds or not. Okay, folks, I do get myself a place to hold a teabag and then I'll be really good.
Was not believed in by many people, me included, and KT. Today they have the opportunity to show whether they can take down Gen.G again. We all saw that graphic at the beginning. They won one series, and I was there, and it was a banger. But can they replicate that?
I mean, that is the question on everyone's mind, and you know, all jokes aside, Gen.G is a massive favorite, right? You know, that I think is undeniable. But I will say for KT, both Perfect and Peter have played better at Worlds than I expected. KT is on a 7-0 run. They have not dropped a single game. Yes, you can talk about the strength of the competition. Yes, you can talk about the fact that they haven't played someone of Gen.G's caliber. But I still do kind of get that inkling of hope watching this KT team.
Let's get a second cup so I can put my tea bag in it. Pour a tea bag.
Point.
Okay, should be getting pretty close to draft day, folks. I'm gonna go see if I can get a desk on, a guest on as well, because honestly, I'm tired as heck of having someone around. It helps. Let's see. Hey, thanks for the bits there, Avarice. Appreciate you. Hope you're doing well, by the way. Yeah, obviously seen less of you because it's been less. Yes, a reminder, folks, we have a new sponsor for the stream today, Opera GX. There'll be a link in chat if you want to support us on that one.
And we, I think, are going to see a big focus here today on both supports. I, for one, having casted these guys back in the Challenger days, still can't...
So it's a 3-0? Yeah, because you can't get, you know, you can't get excited for anyone, right?
Peter on Nongshim, Duro on Gen.G. And I wouldn't be surprised if we're seeing Pry on that Nico, because Peter has been absolutely lethal on that. But instead, it's going to be the respect towards BDD with the early pickup of the Talia.
So it will be Talia. The Galio ban to me was interesting because that's trying to open the door for Rumble, you know, very likely. Or, you know, some of these combos like the Galio Jarvan. But I am expecting with that, you're giving over the Rumble. So clearly,
what's my prediction? I think it could be a 3-2. I don't know, man.
Just choose Talia.
Just because KT have actually been playing a lot better, but they've also, you know, they had a little bit of more of a break because they were a 3-0 team and they faced CFO, who just didn't look very good in quarterfinals. They did, though.
Kind of conspicuously absent thus far, but you know, Trundle is available. Some of those answers that people have to make it more palatable are there.
But yes, I'm kind of making the move over to Opera GX anyway, so it was a good time for the sponsor, really. So, there was the, sorry, I'm looking into the draft now. So, there aren't as many things which deal well with the Talia in lane once you get rid of the Orianna or Azir. Those are two of the ones which do better. The Orianna, really. The Azir then outscales, I think. In a way that he failed to do so earlier in the year. Earlier in the year, I would have said that Azir just kind of gets bodied by Talia at most times in the game. I don't think that's true anymore, really.
That we've been seeing for the entirety of the year. Guaranteed lockdown. and a lot of ability to set up plays.
Just so powerful, the ability to catch out one player really easily, add on something like a Corki that can Valkyrie in for the
and that's another big thing there too. So Corki very strong in lane, but also bad against Vi. So they lock it with the Vi, knowing that they get the Corki with its counter away from it already. Ooh, BDD Yone with an AP top laner already. Nice. Okay, BDD Yone, let's go. He's damn good at this pick too. I'm so excited for this mid lane matchup.
On the receiving end of one of the most insane 1v9 performances I've seen from Chovy against him on this Yone specifically. So not only does he pick it away, and is this a huge show of confidence for the man that has been stalwart in the mid lane all year, but it also is a pick away because we are of course playing in Fearless, and this is something that Gen.G even used very recently in their last series.
So going into the second round, we've got very aggressive drafts. We've got melee divers everywhere, which is kind of a big thing, no? So Gen.G, in terms of into the Rumble, you could go Kin Sensei. You could go Kin Sensei. Does fine into the Yone in a side lane, does well into the Rumble in an individual matchup too. It's fine, you know. I mean, I think Gen.G, okay, just going back to the prediction comment. I think that, I mean, Gen.G are obviously favorites. By how much though? Is it just a straight 3-0 stomp? I think Cuz has been playing well. I think Canyon's been okay, but not spectacular. Peter's actually been... Hang on 1 second, I got it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Rumble should give you some prio. You're expecting, as long as you have a strong AD pairing on the bot side, that Nico is going to help to give you prio down there as well. Clearly, Gen.G targeting some of the safer AD carries will be interesting to see, you know, what else they want to take away. A lot of the kind of safe targets have been things like Ezreal, like Saya, like Jhin.
So you've already got the Nico for KT. You've taken away some of the lane dominant stuff away from... No, so you have lane dominance kind of assured now, really, with the Nico. No, that's not necessarily true, is it? What can you do in terms of range support into the Nico? I mean, I don't think you want to go Kai'Sa for KT, do you?
Very likely on this pick. Could go AD carry and save the jungle for final pick.
I guess you could go Caitlyn, but for lane dominance. Kai'Sa helps your dive combo with the Yone, but don't think it does well against the Corki. Could go Jhin. Okay, Cuz Jarvan. There's no Poppy on the table, so anti-dash is less available. Obviously the Taliyah's there, but Poppy's the big one because it actually stops your combo. The Taliyah doesn't.
But it is obviously a lot of comfort, and the combination with the Rumble is quite strong.
Yeah, good combination with the Rumble. Obviously, you need an AD jungler here when you do have already the Rumble. You don't want to be, you know, too heavy on the AP. And I'm just kind of curious to see, you know, are they going to try to go lane dominant?
Oh, it's adorable.
They were picking a lot of Caitlyn early on.
Okay, Rakan's fine hit.
And Caitlyn is still up.
Gives you an extra engaged threat. Duro is a very, very good Rakan player. I think that Duro's been insane. I think Carrier yesterday was probably the best support performance that we've seen, but over the average of the tournament, Duro's been the best support of the tournament, I think. God, it feels so strange that it's semifinals already. And Bess is good. It helps you with your Virakan. Okay, they go for the Sion. Well, I mean, there's no Trundle. Okay, all right, yeah, Sion is a thing. Now the thing is, KT have a lot of ways to get beyond the Sion, so the Sion is less important in this draft because there are a lot of ways to get beyond it.
But of course, the fact that the Yone can be in the side lane later on does make that a little bit less valuable. It's not like it is a standard control mage mid lane.
Looking towards maybe Kai'Sa here for...
Yeah, Caitlyn's the lane dominant one. We called that out earlier. But it doesn't help against the Sion. The problem with the Caitlyn is that you don't get to not hit the Sion much. The Sion can just choose to put himself in front of you. By the way, another thing too, the Breakfast Club thing. We got some like Worlds branded cookies, which are really cool.
And team fight here with really everyone except the Caitlyn. You have pushing power on the bot side. You have pushing power in the top.
As a takeaway from Perfect, he loves the sign. Well, they had locked the Rumble already, so that's not really the case there.
Which is going to open up opportunities for Cuz, because we know when we look at the one series that KT did win against Gen.G, it was a lot off of Cuz and BDD having these heroic performances and being able to be
almost shortbread-like, but not quite.
So
nice.
critical.
When I look at the
Perfect is a good Rumble, for sure. His Rumble's been his best champion I've seen from him so far. He's very good on that in Swiss too. My worry about KT, very squishy comp. Caitlyn can't join the dive in the way that the others can, but you do control laning phase with the Caitlyn Nico. Gen.G? The damage is a little bit more touch and go, because Tillia can be quite low damage, but if you get ahead, who cares?
When you think of having the highest level of early impact.
Absolutely.
I love the truncated worlds. Every game matters. Double elimination gives teams too much leeway. Well, I think there's enough time to do a double elim bracket, personally. I think that double elimination gives you... Okay, for the actual... Single elimination is fine for determining the winner, right? It finds the best team fairly often. But I do think that double elimination is very, very good at finding you second, third, and fourth place, whilst also giving you more matchups between the best teams in the world, which are hopefully closer with that double elimination. Like, imagine 2016 Worlds, the SKT Rock series. Imagine if that actually ends up in finals, because realistically it should happen in finals. Because the other thing about double elim is that it gives you the best series in finals more often.
Dreams, expectations over the last couple of years for KT truly is something out of a fairy tale, a storybook, you have to say. Similar to that DRX run back just a few years ago.
I mean, there's just so much. Unfortunately, I'm hoping that we'll have the time to go into it because, of course, you know, sometimes I don't want to enforce that idea, but sometimes LCK versus LCK can be a little bit slow. But there is the Canyon and Dokdam who used to be in the same team. DK that didn't really was able to make the mark that they were hoping for. We have BDD who, after he was replaced by Chovy, had what I think is the worst.
That's true. Canyon and Dog. Wait, did Canyon and Dokdam have a year together?
Underperformance was a really tough bounce back. And again, the fact that the expectations
well, no, last year you still had...
really not high. They barely squeaked.
No, yeah, did Canyon and Dokdam had 1 year together, I think they did, in 23. And then 24, Peanut Delight left Gen.G, Canyon came in with La Hands, and then of course Duro's coming this year.
Only team so far undefeated across the 2025.
That's insane that KT are the only undefeated team at Worlds.
How far can they go, right? You know, of course, people are coming in here and they say, yeah, it's Gen.G, you're gonna get smacked.
Oh, bad level 1 from BDD. Very bad level 1 from him.
KT fans just need something.
Now you're expecting to kind of just tank up a lot of stuff anyway. Well, just kind of, you know, survive the early lane, teleport back. With second wins, Door and Shield, you're hoping that you can just tank a single auto, get the regen, and then just kind of run it back. Not great when you get a lot of burst into your course, because it's kind of slow sustain. Like it was one of the issues where you played into Twitch. His early level of his passive is so low DPS, or DOT, that you can kind of run second wind into Twitch early levels, and he actually ends up healing you because the longer the regen is on, because it keeps ticking from the last time you took damage, which will include the last tick of DOT, that you just activate Door and Shield and second wind for forever. Which means that if you only land one auto attack on someone who's running D-Shield second wind, they just regen a ton.
Outside of those two, they have been victorious. And then for Gen.G, I think, again, it is the weight of the expectations. I feel we have seen Chovy truly...
Church of Chovy, no, the Basilica of BDT. It's not bad, appreciate that. Ooh, okay, so the early laning phase hasn't been that great from Dokdam and Peter in general at this tournament. However, against CFO, they kind of blast them with some good level 1s. The level 1 prep from KT was very good versus CFO.
Many moments for many years now as the best mid laner in the world. Now they're looking mid.
I did put Chovy as my... Oh, Chovy. Good shove back, but doesn't matter. Nice play from Chuz. Good timing. But also, Chovy messing up the flash, man.
And when you want to talk about pressure, flashing in line with the flag and drag there, I think he was maybe trying to flash over.
Yeah, he was trying to flash over and he didn't get it.
You know, an EQ flash or something like that. But Cuz doesn't even have to flash.
Yeah, it's just bad timing from Chovy.
And they got first blood, and it goes to the Yone.
And that is in a matchup where Yone is expected to struggle early on.
Yeah, and now you're getting a kill over towards Yone. So now KT have a genuine, like, pressure valve there now.
Gets spotted by Canyon and sets up his mid laner for success immediately. Because once you hit 6, this matchup becomes infinitely easier.
And I like to joke about this, but I'm kind of not really joking. Yone's hit full build. You get that early vamp.
Full build Yone has a vamp scepter. That was the Aurelia thing back in the day as well. Back in the day.
Hit this critical threshold where both Talia has a bad buy in just the tier, so you're not really getting a lot more damage, and you have so much sustain that now all of a sudden you can't really even get prio in that lane. And that really was the only lane that we were expecting Gen.G to have that early prio in. So BDD...
Chovy has one game per series where he looks a bit shaky. I don't think I agree with that. Like, dying to a first gank isn't great, but I wouldn't have said that Chovy's looked shaky in his series or anything like that. I think Chovy's been... I don't think that's consistently true. You know, if I look at quarterfinals, you look against HLE, the Orianna game where he saved the game at the Nexus, I will say the earlier part of that game was a little bit rough because, you know, he didn't flash the Ambassador ult at Baron. But I don't think it's quite... Yeah, I wouldn't say it... I wouldn't say it's like a consistent thing, Ghost. I will say against HLE, I think Chovy had, you know, that Orianna game was very good at saving the game, but then also had some bad fights before it, so it's a little bit up and down, right? Non-typical pathing from Koz? I actually didn't check the jungle. I didn't check the jungle pathing that well.
Gen.G is so stacked and there's so many stars on this team that sometimes it can be a bit difficult to figure out what is your role within this team, right? You know, when you take players who are like the focus on a different roster and you put them all together and you build with more and more and more stars, not everyone can be the star. Not everyone can take that kind of central role. So I do think sometimes players have to reinvent themselves a bit and kind of figure out, okay, well, what playstyle works best for me and enables my team.
Canyon just full clearing.
And this is about as bad as it gets for
Yeah, I have to say Canyon's not exactly been that inspiring in early game, but because his lanes have typically been very good, typically what Gen.G do is just have Canyon just kind of take camps on cooldown, and then their lanes are winning enough so he doesn't have to interact with the map that much, which, I mean, technically that's when Canyon was at his best, was when he was doing farming method like that. It's just that, you know, he's not on carry champions anymore, really. More on facilitators and kind of AD skirmishers.
Was able to pick up that first dragon, so we'll see if Gen.G is able to contest for these grubs in about...
Is there an angle where Perfect plays Aurelia game 5? It's very matchup depending. The only stuff that you play Aurelia into... God, what do you even play it into? Even stuff like Yorick. Yorick is, I feel like Aurelia's a bit of a fake counter to Yorick. Hey, thanks for the stream streak there, Feb. Appreciate you. 10 CS lead for the Caitlyn, but it's 10 CS lead for a Caitlyn. Nico, it's not crazy, you know, that's kind of expected.
Trying to keep the push going. And though we do see Ruler a little bit behind, at least the Caitlyn has not been farming a lot of plates or anything.
Appreciate the stream streak as well, passed before.
Keeping the farm close enough and keeping them off the tower.
Appreciate the follow as well.
Total disaster where sometimes these Caitlyn lanes really can get out of control, especially when you are going against a weak early
Chovy now down 10 CS or so. I mean, he's clearing out the wave.
Are doing a great job of just kind of minimizing the damage as much as they possibly can.
Later into the game, really need to check how Docdam can actually add to this comp, because it feels like the Caitlyn is there just for lane dominance. Yorick is only underwhelming 90% of the time in pro play. Only 90% of the time. Hey, I mean, in LPL, Yorick was actually pretty good. We had a good experience with Yorick in LPL on the whole.
We do see Duro TPing back, but Ruler chunked out as he is. I have a lot of faith in his man's Corki, but
it would be
without your health bar, that is only a tier.
Nameplates aside, red side has a chance. I think even with nameplates on, I think KT have been playing very well this world. I think Cuz has had a great world. I think BDD has been excellent. We kind of expected BDD to be excellent, but it's nice to see it. You have level 6 available. So Yone is has to get the ult out early. Okay, that's big. So now you don't use your Vi ultimate. Got a chance to go for your big engage. You get one and out. Yeah, I think as soon as BDD loses his ult, a lot of your damage goes with it in the early game. Your first ult of the game, you need to get good value out of it if you're going to actually fight. It's a bit lazy from BDD. Well, I say that as a team, they didn't manage to track Canyon, but also at this point in the game, it's not like you've got everyone freely able to kind of chuck down wards.
I do like,
not bad from Gen.G to get 2 out of that. And also Sion could have joined with ult. That is one of the things about stop it? No, they don't. Yeah, but Gen.G saw this because they had a ward on there, so they knew about this. They chose to let this happen anyway. Yes, one of the things about Sion is that it's helpful to think of him having, you know, kind of quote-unquote a global ultimate. Semi-global, right? Because his ultimate, like Pleds, can just throw him into a play from very long distance.
It is hard to find someone that doesn't love Peter.
That's
I
true.
gotta say though, this man has been farming fans.
I don't know, you ever heard of Captain Hook, Chronicler? Don't think he's a fan of Peter.
Really stellar performance, particularly again on the Nico.
Oh, could you hang on, folks? Could you imagine a support player called Captain Hook?
Sure, but just to highlight
That would be wonderful. Just don't pick, I don't know, Renekton support into him. I'm trying to think of any other kind of Peter Pan references. Sure, Zillion throws a ticking clock at you. Peter was insane versus CFO. He was very, very good. He was very, very good. I'm actually, look, I think in the CFO series, I think some people were saying, look, Peter should have got player of the series. And I actually somewhat agree. I think Peter had some very, very high upsides. Ooh, you can follow him back now if he wants. I actually think he should have gone for that, you know.
I think Canyon, unless BDD
hot take, LPL actually has better meta read and way better way to play than LCK, but their objective setups and team-fighting is just worse. I think it's team by team. I don't think it's necessarily a region thing, because I think BLG had a worse meta read, and yeah, I think they did. IG, of course, we won't get to know about. They only played one series. Yeah, I think it's inarguable that the objective play from LPL has been worse than LCK. That's, hang on a second, he has flipped back through the... Doing well to make sure that BDD doesn't have an impact early on here. Lost vision control on bot side. Canyon hasn't cast his ult this game yet. Then again, most people haven't. Wait, is it only... No, Dogdam's used this one. But basically, no one's used their ultimates in important ways so far.
Get some traps down. Gen.G looks like they're going to be able to retake this space, though.
This is where LCK starts to really thrive against other regions. You see this kind of push and pull around areas of the map before an objective comes up. Typically, LCK are much better at this. Captain Hook and Peter both reach World Finals. Trophy will be started by 1v1 supportal combat.
Look at bot. So right now, it's still Duckdom down there, just pushing in this wave. So he's drawn Ruler down, but Ruler is now very...
Yeah. It's like, in terms of the meta read, just going up towards YouTube chat. Yeah, Talon was talking, made the comment about LPL's meta read and stuff. I think Kanavi and Tarzan have been, yeah, they had a good read on the meta, and I think on the whole they were doing very well.
Decent positioning to try to take over this area.
Pete Kanavi still has, I suppose. We'll see how he does against T1 tomorrow. Okay, so again, this has been a big old kind of fight over vision. Sounds coming in, smite fight. Looking for the fight or the smite fight? Oh, who gets it? Who gets it? It's Jarvan. Jarvan gets it. It got to 95 HP, that. Canyon didn't get the smite in time. Just disengaged now, because Sion's already used his ult. Okay, well played by KT to hold on to the space they've taken. Well played.
Perfect does have to invest his TP, but that's an investment you're happily going to take with Mountain on the board, and the fact that
I can't believe we've never had a pro player called Captain Hook for a support player, you know.
It's a fantastic start for KT, and I just really like how they navigated that, because I think a lot of teams, once they lost ult on...
So now 1,000 gold leads to KT, 2 dragons. Yes, they didn't get all the grubs, but I think that KT, you know, on a... This is a very good checklist for the early game. Very good for them.
Ruler was so sectioned off from the rest of the team that by the time he actually got there, the dragon was basically already gone, and it just became a bit of a flip, and KT do get that, and they're comfortable to continue just playing at this pace.
And for Gen.G, one of the things that they have found many advantage on has been that snap engage. Duro in particular has been exceptional at this as they're...
way over push. Easy kill. Your support was reset. Jungler's on the other side of the map. You're halfway up the lane as a Caitlyn. Bad place to be, Dogdom.
Press their R buttons and Duckdom goes down.
Yeah, Duckdom, nothing much to do about that one.
I just wasn't looking at the minimap because I thought, well, surely nothing will happen because everyone's just chill farming.
Everyone else from KT is on that top side, so had to be a little bit more careful. Does get punished.
Got to be really careful not to give too many of them over.
Not the end of the world.
One item for Dogdom now. Who got the kill? It was Canyon that got it.
Because people want the plates, so they'll step up a little bit more greedily than they usually would, thinking, oh, there's a bit of 200 extra gold for me, you know, put it in my pockets. But because of that, Gen.G...
Blades in for BDD, big spike for him.
Really wasn't any support for Dogdom on that side of the map.
And one item spikes to come through here. We have the...
I mean, this is one of the problems when you're playing against such a hard engage comp, right, with so much mobility. Stuff like Virakan can hit you from full screen away with flashes up.
And we'll see. I think Herald is definitely going to be a setup, and we're already seeing Gen.G set up for that as Duro moving into the enemy.
Big that Ruler didn't get it. Yeah, I think if Ruler had gotten it, that would have meant that Caitlyn was just behind the Corki, and if Caitlyn ever gets behind her individual matchup, it's a bad, very, very bad litmus test.
For your Caitlyn Nico against a Corki Rakan, like you really would have wanted to build that into a lot more. So credit to Gen.G, great at kind of just minimizing the advantages that they're giving over to Doctam here. And Gen.G, as I was touching on earlier, even when
Doctam got a lot of plates too, so the fact that he's only 200 gold ahead is a bit worrying.
And how they actually set up these objectives.
Okay, so we're getting towards one item for everyone. I think Gen.G, because they have a better front line, they do better at 2 items. Because I think a 2-item Scion buys a good amount of time for Chovy Ruler to put out good damage. I'm just a little afraid of how KT get their Caitlyn into the play. I feel like a lot of this game might be Caitlyn just not impacting team fights. Caitlyn is there for lane dominance and doesn't bring that much else to the play.
Canyon slams his fists into Cuz. Cuz chipped away at a little. Duro's going to start up the hold here with Gleaming Quill. BDD's working his way up from the bot side, but might just be focused on the Scuttle Crab. Peter looking to see if there's anything he can do here.
I don't watch LCK, but I'm surprised that Keen is still going strong after all these years. He is perhaps the most consistent player. Oh, bloody hell. Yeah, great engage. This is where, yeah, Scion gets to hold the door shut. Gen.G just shut the door on an area of the map and you can't contest it. But yeah, I think that Keen has been the most consistent top laner in League of Legends history. This guy is insanely good, particularly because... Wait, how many top laners have even played for like a long time, you know? A lot of them are gone now, because you would have said... Khan played for a fairly long while, even then he wasn't crazy long time on that. The Shy's been playing for a while too, but he started... suppose he started after Khan a little bit, right? Not Khan, after Keen. Although it would have been... No, they would have been similar time, actually, thinking about it.
Gen.G are still in a position where I think they need to fight for at least the next 2 dragons to kind of equalize that, because if...
Who's even played for a crazy long time as a support player? A lot of them... not a support player, as a top lane player. Not many of them have played for that long, you know?
So I feel like that makes it even more important that they are able to find that objective fight.
Smeb, Calm, the Shy come to mind. Smeb had like seasons 6 to 8, which were very good, and I think it was his season 9 where he just completely fell off. Impact is legit the only one. Although his this year has not been great for Impact, but yeah, Impact is probably the guy that you think of in terms of longevity for top lane.
Gen.G though, a lot of members here around mid. Just expecting them to drop this
Huni can't flame Impact. Yeah, Wonder and Soa is a little strange because of course they've been out of the game for a number of years now. But of course in the early years you would have said that. But I think a lot of the old guard of top lane have now gone now. Once again, Gen.G at the objective first. I'd like LCK teams just get to an area of the map first so effectively and hold on to it very well. Flandre is the big... That's a great call out. Flandre is one of the real ones you got to talk about there too. BDD, that's another defensive ult. It's the 3rd time he's used it defensively. Gen.G are very good at playing some like cooldown economy. Peter has no flash, so the big engage threat's gone. You don't have a flanking big ult. Now Canyon can get like a crazy knockup. Jarvan's dead. Great follow-up from Duro. Awesome from Gen.G. You know, they just take an area of the map, they hold on to it, starve out vision, find a good engage. Bob's your uncle. Who am I to assume what your family members are called?
Then flashes his way over, finds the charm, double knockup. And Gen.G find a big fight.
I mean, the setup is just so far superior. Keen was waiting in the tri-brush on a ping.
I feel if the game gets late enough and Yone builds 3rd item tank, it'll be so hard to deal with. I think you just full combo the first target down so easily. And I think eventually if Yone becomes the threat, you just focus the Yone.
Picture perfect here from Gen.G showing their class.
Like this is, folks, if you want a game to show how you control an area of the map before an objective, this is the one to look at.
You're not close to a soul, and Gen.G once again right back into their comfort zone.
And the 2 big points for me have been one, Peter, who obviously, even on his Nico, thus far hasn't been able to find the impact.
Yeah, KT have just been shut out of this game. This is not looking close, sadly, for KT. This is looking like an LCK Gen.G versus KT matchup, not gonna lie.
Looking to make the play, and his team is going to trust him to do so as well. but every time he's had to hold out defensively, and I do think that is a lot of the power of this composition, that Yone ult layered with the Rumble, layered with the Nico.
You don't believe in top esports?
We're not really getting that from KT right now, and they
Hmm.
weren't able to get the Dragon as a result.
And it just feels like they clearly want to contest, but they are late multiple times.
Well, I don't think it's good for your mental health to believe in top esports. Look, top esports are a very good regional team, but internationally they just. The fact that top esports are the last remaining hope of the LPL is the irony is not lost on me. after all the shit we've talked about them internationally for so long.
And Gen.G is a team that everything has to be perfect against.
Watching this, you realize Western teams have zero chance. None of the LCS or LEC teams can control the map like this. I think, obviously that's team by team basis as well, but of course, you know, FlyQuest did very well at that last year, took Gen.G to 5 games, did very well at early game Snowball into quick pick comps later on. I think their drafting overall was a little better. What the hell is that ward? That's a pig and a load of gold. Huh? I don't think I've seen that one before.
But like, who actually goes in? Because with the clone and with Cuz's flag, you are able to check, are they in the
Solera's high prior because the W ability. E is the rocks, by the way, the W is the shove. Does she ever lack damage, or is that a fake thing because the utility items she builds? She can lack damage compared to other mages. She's probably one of the lowest DPS. But hang on a second, how the hell did Jiro get there? Wow, awesome from Jiro. Yeah. Okay, well, Equalizer's not fantastic. Ruler still has everything up. Perfect's doing his best here. Doctam doesn't get him. He gets cancelled. Gets cancelled as well. Gets cancelled. Okay, it's still not bad for KT. Hang on, still not bad for them. So there's that one for none, despite Jiro getting an insane angle there. Okay, so keen first death of the game for him. I mean, Adakan helping definitely help, but Perfect kind of won that fight by getting Golden Flame Splitter onto both carries at the same time. Perfect saves that fight, folks.
Wait a little bit longer till the team was there in position, but gets found out, has to go early, and Gen.G just decide we're going to try to take the fight regardless. KT though, great turnaround, and I think we might have to go back to live because Doctam was just hitting that Otacon, but here it is one more time, just kind of going a little bit early.
Oh, the bot back's insane, but yeah, I mean, Perfect does a bunch of work here. Yeah, Perfect does a great job there. All right, so we got another Otacon start. Yeah, good call by Azel. Get straight back to live, you know. He doesn't have flash. Oh, really gets out. So you don't have your big engage now. And now you've leashed the Otacon, and now you have no engage. I don't think they have the cooldowns to fight this now. Look how well Gen.G just kind of push and pull around the front line. You know, their spacing in these fights is insane. Oh, even if they don't get the kill, it means there's no smite on the table. So KT just end up leashing it over towards Gen.G. Oh, Gen.G are such good team fighters on the whole, you know. That last fight obviously was a little over pushed, but Gen.G, great show of how they can kind of space out team fights and allow their front line to kind of spread damage across each other.
Now for KT to re-enter. Cuz wanted to stay around to see if he could find an opportunity to look for a steal, but Keen shuts the door on that as well, flashes forward, makes it so his only way out is back to the tower, makes it a guaranteed Otacon for them. And that glimmer of hope.
Peter has flash for the next fight though, which could be quite big.
Snuffed out just as fast as it appeared.
If you're KT now, you're looking at feats of strength. 23 petals to 4 on the Otacon. You're looking at Juro and Canyon stepping up together to try.
Dragon in 20, KT, if they can get soul point, that's a win condition from them.
Just denying any vision for KT.
There's a lot of dive,
2 items across the board, pretty much.
They can get on top of him, take him out. Again, this composition, the only
You don't have Zhonya's for Perfect, which is kind of big, because you'd love to do what he did the last time and just get onto the carries, go golden with the Flame Spitter.
That might be an angle, but Perfect doesn't have his flash. Stop was used in that topside play as well.
They go for Canyon. Jump on him immediately.
Jesus Christ, the only damage. Caitlyn's going for the full armor pen build, by the way. This has gone LDR second. No rapid fire cannon, no infetch. This is the Viper build. Viper was doing this. Okay. Keen is pretty unkillable at 2 items. I don't think Caitlyn does that much to him still, even with the LDR. Did they get Dragon off this? I think they do. Peter has flash this time too. Equalizer on top onto it. BDD gets... Hang on, did they get Chovy there? They get Chovy, but Ruler's alive. So he's going to get Peter. Doesn't get anything more than that. Not bad from KT. Ooh, parry up. Doesn't matter. Okay, so that's 3 for 1. Okay, you see that the team that turns up the objective first pretty much wins.
To flip the game on its head, BDD and Perfect have
So now you have soul point for KT, and despite the fact they were saying, oh, how does the Caitlyn play these fights, Keen couldn't get into position. Keen couldn't get into the team. Couldn't get into the front line to stop Dogdam hitting people that were more important than him. Hey, Sam, how's it going? Oh, did you get your flight okay, by the way, Sam? You were really stressed last time you called. I hope things were fine. Hope you enjoy holiday.
Doesn't give up, finds the engage, and KT take a big lead because, again, I want to reiterate, soul point for Mountain Soul into the Gen.G composition is absolutely crazy.
Yeah, and we just have to watch Peter.
Okay, so the Talir ult leaves Chovy out of position. They have a ward in the pit. Hang on, Chovy. Chovy just walked onto the Caitlyn trap. Chovy just walked straight onto a Caitlyn trap and then just got insta-CC'd into death. My dude.
Just a combo of Peter with that equalizer is enough to take down the Talia, as there he goes! Peter pops off!
So now they have soul point.
How can you not love this guy,
man? Oh, Chovy, you can't walk onto it. You made it just fine, cool. I can't believe that Chovy just walked onto a Caitlyn trap and then just got insta-comboed and died.
This has been such an exciting game one to
big mistake from him.
And though it has been a very one-sided
how series in draft? Draft is, I would say, slightly Gen.G favored, but I wouldn't say it's crazy. They have Sion into no anti-tank, and KT have a Caitlyn that can struggle to get beyond the Sion.
In the very old days, this new iteration, when you're looking at game score in 2025, 25-4. When you look at series score, 6-1. But it doesn't matter because only today is what is important. You just need to find purchase in this series, and I think the pressure really is all on Gen.G.
But basically, this game has been about who can turn up to objectives and control the area first. Well, that's been the game. It's been very much get to the objective, control the space. I can fly, Peter. What is it, Fairy Dust and Peter Pan that does that?
They're not going to force anything right now. Go back. Farm up these waves. Infinity Edge on its way for BDD. Already has the BF sword and the crit cloak, so he's very close to completing it.
And Dogdam, not quite as close, but also steadily getting closer. That is a crazy.
You know, funnily enough, folks, the first live series of League I ever watched was KT Rolster in 2015 quarterfinals. I believe that was the first game out of the quarterfinals I saw. Saw 3 out of the 4 quarterfinals in 2015 Worlds in London. First live league event I ever went to. When there was Sam. Sam won the tickets through his esports society at uni. We watched KT Rolster versus the Rocks Tigers. Oh, technically, I think they were the Coup Tigers back then. This was 2015.
That the 30 item spikes for BDD and Dogdam are going to be so much more offensive.
That was a fun time. 2015 someday KT was very, very cool.
Of course, that's still going to be some power. We're probably going to get Azonia's third from Chovy. So the amount of damage that
I actually think that when you're behind the game like this, just a little bit, I think Gen.G can run out of damage in some instances, even though KT are not that tanky a team. Hang on, whoa, that's a good double knockup. Equalizer onto the root, so Corky's going to be very low HP. No, he's not. Okay, actually, Ruler's doing a lot more than I thought. Ruler manages to thread the needle. Perfect's down. The Sion's not exactly taking... Look how tanky the Sion is. Chovy? Fucking hell, man. Doesn't get the knockup. I don't think it matters too much, does it? I mean, but you don't have any extra damage. The Caitlyn can't really influence the flight from here. Yeah, and the Sion's unkillable. They don't have... Look, and this is the problem with Sion. Sion forces you to hit him. Right there, look at how Keen just takes up a spot in the space and just says, you can't hit anyone behind me. Okay, well, there you go. I think if you, hang on, who did they ult onto? Was it Dogdam or Pizza here? Oh, both of them technically, but...
It's just beautiful here from Canyon and Ruler immediately in onto Dogdam.
He doesn't have flash just yet. Can't quite get onto Ruler. Ruler's spacing was very, very good here, but then just... Sion is so broken if you're not into a Trundle, man. I really like that from Chovy too, just saying, look, your bot lane is not going to be able to take control of this choke point again. You shall not pass! That's why Sion is #1 prio, especially when Trundle's not in the game. If you, I think we saw this a lot in Swiss. If you pick Sion with Trundle up, you just slam Sion, and Trundle can't. Sion can't play the game. You slam the Trundle into it, and they just can't play. But if Sion is against anything else, just takes control of the front line better than anything else in the game right now. That's why we were seeing a little, you know, MCOI played stuff like the Vayne, right? Although that wasn't into the, I don't think that was into the, wait, was that into the Sion? I don't remember.
Yeah, I mean, KT obviously not out of it just yet, but that was
can't remember if that was Sion or Casante.
That was dealt to them there by Gen.G. If you could have won that fight, you're losing Baron, you're losing that early soul, and now it's going to be a long time. That's the KT roller coaster.
That could have been the game-changing play for KT if they managed to survive through to Soul. So I think at that point, actually, the Talia's damage is quite low. The Talia's damage is quite low, and you can't cut through the extra resist and the extra shield.
Almost on that Zhonya's double IE has been completed, so a lot of power still there for KT.
Yeah, no, Zell's calling out the right stuff there. I mean, yes, you have double IE spike, but
and now that they have the run of the map, it's very difficult.
double Mountain Dragon for Sion. If Keen plays this game well, which he has been doing well in the last couple of fights, the Sion is still just not going to take damage.
Some additional wards placed down there.
Feels insane that including this series, we only got 3 series left. It has been a very condensed world, and a lot of games over a very short amount of time. Feels like it compared to other worlds anyway, because it has been a truncated version, kind of condensed.
But with the way that Gen.G are pushing out on the map, it doesn't look like they want to make this push go any further. So for KT, you don't have to worry about super minions. You can push up a little bit out of your own base, but the risk is you only have 1 tier 2 left. So if you're pushing up through mid, there's 2 ways teams can collapse on you. If you're pushing up through bot, you have to be worried about that loop around. Even if you're pushing towards your red buff, you have to be a little bit cautious because Gen.G could be lying in wait.
And Gen.G both have all their sideline towers, which is further kind
Keen has over 1,000 extra bonus HP from his W as well. Of course, we kind of expect that at this point in the game.
The reason why, as you already mentioned, Matic, they don't really get to do a lot is because of the early Drakes. If KT wasn't at soul point, they could have just said, we don't care about the soul, we're just going to shove in the opposite 2 waves. That's not going to be the case.
I mean, credit to KT for giving some making Gen.G stumble at points too. And it wasn't just Gen.G that were good around playing objectives. KT were actually pretty good at that around some of their dragons too.
I just love how much protection there is for Ruler. You know, you see the ace in the hole coming through, Canyon's diving in front, Duro's jumping in. It's just
Did you lose a lot of hype with the week off, the week-long break between series? I mean,
without question, to me, is the best team
I thought it was pretty cool having kind of like a little bit of build-up in terms of media between matches. But the problem is you can't do like half a week, because then that means that you have midweek matches, which is not great. You'd prefer to have all your matches on weekends and in prime time stuff. I say that we've had some midweek matches here, right? Because we had it on Thursday, Friday. We've had them most of this week.
You cannot get away with everything. As we've seen even at this tournament, for KT, the threat of a soul point does...
I quite liked the slow build-up of media, and it made it feel like it was a bit more of like a festival, I suppose. A proper celebration event. I think that's why a lot of people like, yo, by the way, if you wanted to do a double elimination, you could do the matches in the same kind of days that they've been doing it here. Because we, we've been playing Tuesday to Friday in terms of the quarterfinals. You can just add extra matches into those days that were being unused instead of having these long breaks. Obviously, their answer this time has been, hey, we can just condense the whole schedule and do everything midweek. And just shorten the tournament, shorten the kind of time frame of the tournament, make it condensed and have tons of games over it. 140 vision score is nuts. I wonder whether Duro has, does he have... Huh, that's a good question actually. And he doesn't even have something like Zombie Ward or anything. Yeah, that's an insane vision score, you're right.
Wait. Reset, it's very difficult to then be able to disengage from the fight.
It really is. Even things like the upgraded plated steel caps for Ruler, just those little shields that can really...
Yeah, the defensive boots are really, really nasty. Yeah, I was wondering whether they would have something like Deep Ward or Zombie Ward. Well, it used to be Zombie Ward, because the way you used to kind of artificially boost your vision score was stuff like Ingenious Hunter plus Zombie Ward plus Red Trinket. You're just going to go wild.
They do have the IEs, they do have a QSS for BDD as well, but it's got to be one hell of an engage here from KT. And
yeah, KT needs to get onto both carries at once. If you get onto both carries at once, this is still like somehow winnable, but obviously it's not easy, but I think at that point like you can actually win a fight in a way that it's very hard to otherwise.
They don't have an easy way to get it down as well. They don't have a tank to face check for the support to run behind, and they also don't have something like a Rakan decimating smash.
Hang on a second. I don't know, man. Ruler just has way too much damage now. Ruler's had a very, very good game on Corki. Okay, he gets the GA, but... Oh, does he get both carries there? Okay, that's the Rakan down, but not Chovy. He didn't get Chovy in the gauge. Great block by Keen. BDD is trying his bloody best. Oh, perfect flash over. I don't think they have enough damage, do they? Oh, it's fucking close. Holy crap, the Yone late game did some work there.
We've seen it so many times over the years.
But Cuz is coming up faster. They could go for the soul here right now because Cuz has a
That's a fair point. Yeah, Cuz is going to respawn quicker.
This was an insane fight. The pick set up by
Okay, so Cuz gets blasted first. How the hell did they come back into this? Is it just Canyon going too far? I mean, I thought Canyon with GA meant that it wouldn't matter. Great trap placement from Docdam. And then Duro goes too far next. He tanks aggro. The turnaround is insane there. Keen tries his best there. They want to try and get a W knockout. Good flick back. This could be Soul. This could be cool. This is Soul, no? Hang on. This is like a winning angle for KT now. Because it's not like Gen.G have crazy... Shit, hell, that's close. Soul for KT after that? That's insane. Hey, thanks, Shobo. I appreciate you.
How is this for a game 1 of the semifinals? Everyone is saying it's
this is just game 1. KT managed to clutch out a Soul from that. That's insane. BDD just went fucking off in the last play.
Giving everything they've got here. It's still incredibly close. Massive pedal lead, 4K gold lead, but the Soul there to
yeah, the Soul is kind of nice. I mean, hey, thanks to the stream streak as well, by the way, Marco. Appreciate you.
Who can make that big play in what could very well be the final?
Canyon. This is one of the problems with the Vi. Sometimes you just get flashed out of position as you're ulting someone. It's not GXM, it's Opera GX.
A big mistake from Canyon, punished beautifully with the comfort. The fact that it's BDD and Chovy left standing at the end of it all. These two players that have been fighting one another, and between these two, Chovy has so often come out on top. But BDD right now, 6-2 on the Yone, picking it in game 1, a pure show of confidence. And to me, this game, it feels so even because the Mountain Soul is just so much value. And again, it's only 2 carries. Chovy doesn't even have his pen item finished yet.
And look at how tanky BDD is at this point. He's got his Jack Show, he's got a shield bow, and he has a QSS. So he is very difficult to knock
yeah,
out.
BDD, I think you need to focus on BDD and D now, no? At least he doesn't have a GA for the side of Gen.G, because I don't think killing him twice is that easy now. Okay, Duro, bloody hell. You don't have Equalizer anymore, though, and damage onto Rakan is fine, but you really need to have some extra threat for the carries. I think if the double carries of Gen.G get caught, KT will win fights. They get to regen the Mountain Soul, Duro's low HP. I think KT are in a winning angle here, folks. Oh, perfect caught. BDD still alive. Watch BDD, watch BDD. The Rumble's down. Gets onto Ruler, but what's happening with Chovy? Oh, Ruler's gonna live. Oh shit, it's fucking close. I thought he was gonna live by the end of that because I thought BDD might die. BDD's gonna have some coolness coming. Oh, fucking hell, the headshots. Doesn't have the flash. Oh my god, even with Mountain Soul. The front line from Gen.G is just way too strong. The front line is insane.
Insanity. What an angle from Canyon. And the CC is immaculate onto perfect. They layer it completely.
Apparently the widget updates at the start of each day, by the way. So I don't know whether it doesn't update right now.
Finding that engage on perfect. If perfect does not just get one shot, if he gets his Zonias off there.
But appreciate people who are downloading that. Appreciate you. I really don't agree with the Magi's completion from Talia. It matters now that it's in. But let's be honest, Magi's is better the earlier you get it. The later you get it, the more missed value you get from stacks.
And Gen.G again come up with the Baron.
And the fact that Ruler survived there was crazy. Even in the Cataclysm,
Why was Docdam trapped in the pit? Because they was just trying to outrange the engage. Chovy with 18 stacks. Now, having the extra movement speed to outspace something like the Yone skill shots is kind of huge.
doesn't perfectly overlap with the spawn of
What was Perfect doing? The thing is, Perfect had already used his equalizer, and if you get the Vial onto the Rumble at that point, when he's already used the equalizer, you're like, well, you know, BDD gets a free fight, maybe.
For Chovy, and he's got 18 stacks on the Mage Eyes. He's basically full build. Ruler's completed his IE as well. So
Yeah, Ruler needs LDR last, and then he's good to go.
Up at this point that one mistake just means you get one shot.
Ruler has actually had a very good game, folks. His spacing has been quite hard to manage because against such a wombo combo team, you get hit by one bit of CC, you often just die. He's been very good at getting good damage out before, even with KT focusing on him.
A flash of his own. The Pop Blossom can be evaded really quickly with that Summoner spell.
And Chovy has flash, has stopwatch, so he's alone in the side lane, can also easily join with the Weaver's Wall, and they're just slowly sieging this. KT, one of the few downsides of that Yone is that ranged wave clear is tough, same for the Rumble, so holding this on the top.
Taking any mobility away from Pete is pretty good, but okay, Tao's gone. Keen is actually taking some damage now. Not a crazy amount, but some damage. Like, it's not completely free for him to just run in. I actually think sometimes Sion peaks at around about 2 items, where no one's got their pen yet, but he's still, you know, if he's had a good enough early game. Yeah, he's still very, very tanky. Oh, he strikes! He misses, he whiffs it! Oh, Jesus. Hang on, they get Chovy. I don't think it matters, though, no? The Ruler's alive. They need to get both carries, don't they? Sion dies. Maybe it does matter. Holy crap. Oh, KT, they're fucking trying.
The engage from BDD is such a thing of beauty because the Zhonya's loses so much power against the Caitlyn. So
yeah, that's true. That's a great point. If you use Zhonya's, then the Caitlyn trap nails you.
Out of it perfectly by Doctom. This is just such a thing of beauty.
Oh my god. And it means that you're coming straight out onto the trap and onto the... That's insane. He'd have to flash, not... He should have flashed, not equal Zhonya's. If you can Zhonya's, you can flash. He had to flash. He had to flash. Holy moly. I have to say, Chovy's been a little bit vulnerable in this game. Loses 10 stacks on the Magi, so he's down to 8, not 18. Elder's up in 10. I mean, surely Chovy had to flash, not Zhonya's, no? If you can Zhonya's, you can flash. Pretty much. There was nothing I think there which would stop him from flashing, like a root. Okay, so it's going to be 5v5. You don't have Medjai's beyond 10 stacks now. You've lost some value there. So Chovy's less strong than yours before. GA on Canyon, which means he can go... Oh, they catch Cuz. He's going to get the smite. Okay, so they get Elder. Okay, can KT get this through the front line, though? Keen's probably dead for this. He has flash. He maybe can get over the wall. Oh, BDD! There's a flash still on Chovy. Gets out of the damage from the ult there. Close. Seraphs! Fucking hell, the Seraphs! Oh! Ruler's damage is nuts, man. So that's somehow a 1-for-1, but Cuz goes down and loses his GA too. He lost the... Wait, did he lose the GA in that fight? Presumably. No, he would have been the one before. But the... Oh, God. I'll have to track everything when I'm on like 4 hours sleep. Oh, KT. I mean, they have Elder for like another 2 minutes. Ruler doesn't have LDR yet.
If we get this replay, you have to keep your eyes on the Seraph's cooldown. It came up as the Elder was ticking on him when Cuz went in, and
yeah, Chovy Seraphs. That was clutch. I thought it was the HP margin, but I suppose it was off cooldown at that point.
Insane how close it was.
Dude, if we get a telecom war for Worlds Finals, that might be one of the greatest events in League of Legends, like in esports history.
Later on, but they get the secure here, and KT decides we're gonna full send it. Chovy had no Seraph still at this moment. No
oh, Peter ends up catching. Wait, did Peter end up catching? Dura at the end though? Oh my god, insane. I actually think the burn took him below the HP to kill him, by the way, but I think Cuz had died by the time that had happened, so the buff had fallen off.
And for Gen.G, they're still looking at Elder for the next minute, but it's going to expire. We talked earlier about the side lane wave.
Holy moly, KT. Full build for the Caitlyn, so now she is genuinely threatening everyone. Oh my god, Gen.G, they had such a good position in this game, and then Canyon went too deep. This is why Canyon didn't make my top 20, folks. Canyon didn't make my top 20 list for pre-Worlds this year, because occasionally he just has a duff game. Well, not occasionally. When he has... Look, okay. He has a couple of duff games which can send games into the abyss from Gen.G.
if Gen.G want to look for it. 15 on the Elder. Baron now on the map again. Gen.G trying to step up, trying to face up against KT.
Okay. So Elder's off in 10. Keen has ult to get through the trap line. So they're going to get Baron. They're going to get Baron. But they can look for the fight after, maybe. Canyon on a flank. Keen can ult into position.
That's what they do. They'll reset. They'll spend their gold. And once again, they'll face Gen.G on the Rift.
I mean, BDD now has his GA. Dom has a GA. Because his GA is going to be coming back up, they're going to have triple potentially here. BDD
Okay, we might get Kira in for this, because Kira's a big LCK watcher as well.
Not to go for it, but so much power now in this game. It's just going to come down to one fight. This late into the game, the respawn timers are so incredibly long.
Oh my god, what a series. It's only game 1, man.
Try to risk it here on a push because there's still a lot of standing gold. Both the outer towers are up in the bot lane. They could go clear those up at the very least. But the question is, will they just try to play towards Elder, or will they play aggressively to try to close this game?
Wasn't Canyon the best jungler when he was on down 1? Yeah, he was. Yeah, I think Canyon is probably the jungle GOAT for me. I know some people would argue for people like Score or a couple of others, right? But for me, I think Canyon is the jungle GOAT. But, you know, on this roster, well, even last year, it was fucking insane, right? But I think in this year, Canyon has been a lot more mortal.
Match up at this point, and Dom and BDD, the amount of damage these two players are dealing in these late game fights, full build on these crit carries is disgusting.
90 seconds on this Baron buff. 130 before.
Okay, so now they siege like a motherfucker with Caitlyn Qs, and Rumble E's.
Met by a soul unbound from BDD. He snaps back to his team, but not yet to reality as KT are looking to take the first game of their first semi-final over the MSI champions. KT pushing in, Gen.G struggling to find a defense right now.
I mean, Peter has flash. I mean, this could all be on a good Nico ult, you know? Ruler hasn't gone for something like a GA. Gets caught by anything big, then Ruler might just insta-die. Sion is not that tanky anymore. Fucking hell, man. He's alive, but, you know, his ult's down. Slayer ult stops him from walking up and getting towers. One Nexus tower down. They do respawn, but that's like a 5-minute thing. Keen's back out. Dom is doing a bunch of work. Like, Keen is not actually doing that much tanking anymore. Oh, can I guess the Dom? Peter, very good defensive ults. Chovy, kind of too deep. Very good counter engage from Peter. This should be the game, folks. This should be the game. This should be the game. BDD gets out. Keen's going to die. The damage is alive from Gen.G, but I don't think they can survive. I don't think they can kill him in time. Absolute cinema. Canyon goes too deep in mid lane and Gen.G lose the game. Canyon goes too deep in mid lane and loses them the game. I fucking swear if KT fucking does it, I swear to God, man. I swear to God. That was Medic, by the way, not Draco Spoiler telling Medic's the play played today. Hey, we're gonna get Kira on.
There is no way that we can't give them the credit in this nail biter. They just keep on going.
We're just all so excited for KT with how well they played.
Oh, shut up, Medic.
Incredible stuff. I thought
hey, man. So KT Rolster, hey.
It was done and dusted, but our excitement's through the roof.
Oh my God, I can't believe KT just took game number 1. Oh no,
It's a lot higher than KT than everyone else.
Hey, 1 second. I'm just gonna fix volumes and stuff. Alright, go again.
Hello.
Howdy. Okay, hopefully that's a little bit better for people watching on call, watching on stream now.
How are we all? How are we all?
Well, I just saw Canyon just kind of single-handedly lose that game for Gen.G by going too deep a bunch of times.
By the way, like I'm not surprised with that game, like at all. That was literally like all the stuff I've been saying about Gen.G basically into KT. KT would like Gen.G would put Chovy and with a immobile mage. KT will take Jarvan game 1. They've done that every single game versus Gen.G. Gen.G have lost every single game that they've done this, by the way.
Yeah.
So, you've also got to consider like I think Canyon, relative to like his resource replacement, might be one relative to what his resource assignment,
right,
might be one of the worst carries right now. So like I think so I'm really not surprised they lost this game. Again, as I said, on SI I was a lot higher on KT.
Yeah, I think the meme's gone too far. They're actually a pretty good team. I think Perfect looking good and Cuz looking good means this team is actually, you know, it has legs. It's not just BDD and friends. They're actually looking like a decent team now.
Yeah, they're the thing is always will be the problem with KT is depth.
Right.
And this is going to be like the storyline. It's going to be like the thing of like, like if you watched like the LCK,
right?
Okay, like all that, or like it's like the KT are just so behind like Gen.G, and it's like yeah, during the regular season they probably were, but like by the time playoffs came round, the two like series, the first one obviously they won in like dramatic fashion, but in the second one, yeah, like Gen.G won it, but it wasn't just like every single game was like just a 20-minute stomp like either. It was just the scoreline changed rather than so. I don't know. Would you call it like I think Gen.G will still win. Like I'll be really surprised if KT win, obviously. But I think I think a lot of people are expecting just like complete domination. We'll be sure of something.
Yeah. Okay, I think I fixed around volumes a little bit because Sam was the one that set the stuff up. I just need a little bit of time to figure out what was happening on that stuff. Okay, I think audio is now okay. When it gets into going, I'll have to up the broadcast volume again. I'll stream over to you on Discord if you want, or we can just sync up. Either one, I don't mind. Whatever's easiest for you.
Probably better for you to stream Discord, not gonna lie.
Oh, good. No worries. We can do that then.
Fair.
Cool. That should be fine.
Thank you.
Cool. Right, I'm gonna get myself another drink real quick. Oh, I don't know if you. So we got a little care package from Riot. It's very cool. They're actually treating the coast streamers really well actually, and they got these fucking like Poro tea bags. So like the Poros just like hang over the side of the cup. So
alright.
Got like league themed tea bags and stuff, which is very cute actually. It's been very sweet actually. They've been treating us well.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh god, what's the numbers after your name again? Is it 257 on Twitch?
257. Yeah, Kiri, and then it's EI.
Oh, I just put the E and the I the wrong way around, so I'm just that's my bad.
All right, don't worry, mate. I don't use Twitch.
Yeah. Oh, you too could be a content creator, Kira. If only you did.
Well, I could be. I could be the contender, Charlie. But nah, not of this life. Not so far.
Yeah. Oh. I have to say, I am wondering whether I step back some of the LPL broadcast stuff next year and go into some more kind of content creation-y stuff, because that's the stuff which actually gets numbers. The broadcast is a means to an end to get content, because you just take clips off of the broadcast and then you do whatever with that. But it's so much time to chuck into it to get, diminishing rewards. But that's the nature of competing in a very, very heavily saturated space right now.
What's really so game what like the big thing about like content is obviously there's the whole conceited like fan lie of like, oh, they want this like really like deep content. They don't really like people really don't want like the really deep analytical content. It's never done well on
Yeah, and like we used to do VOD reviews on here, which occasionally still do them very occasionally, and sometimes they get good views, but only really for the huge games. It's not really a constant thing. You can get it for some specific moments, but not for everything.
And the whole thing about that is like people will watch it just wanting to see like the good things that people are going to say about their team, or the bad things they're going to say about like another team and stuff. So they like, if you pick like a regular game on a Sunday, I think that really kind of shows like how popular
that kind of content is.
Content is, so like, and obviously it's at its strongest when it's framed around like your guy and my guy. So like it was at its best in the early heydays of like 2019, 2018, where like LS and stuff were arguing over like G2 and like or stuff like that. But again, that was all more based around like LS's like personality.
Yeah, there was a very good point when we had like LS and KT Rolster, when KT Rolster was just on the come up and LS had been very well established at that point, and they both had very different ideas about the game. That was pretty cool, because then you could actually kind of like interact with different content creators who are both very charismatic but also had very different ideas about the game, but they're very well informed about them. Because like I'm not going to be as conceited to say that there's one true way to play the game, because I don't think because the game changes so often, you never really get to fully explore the depths of any style of play. So as long as you reason well and you advance properly into like your understanding of the game, multiple styles of play can work. and multiple understandings of the game can work. So that means that even though LS and KT had different understandings of the game, both could actually find success to them and their kind of philosophy of the game, which I thought was very, very cool.
Can I just say, like, there is one meme right now of an analysis about Gen.G that's actually true, and it's the fact that, like, because of Fearless, their coaching staff can only draft terrible team comps once.
You're actually so right. We thought they would say PLG, but we were completely wrong. Fuck.
No, but I'm being serious. Like, imagine that team comp on the left. That's what you think the best 5 champions in a game of League of Legends are.
Look, I didn't think it was a bad draft from Gen.G personally. I thought it was fine, but
really, it has Vi in it. Like, that's fucking crazy.
No. The problem isn't the Vi. The problem is that Canyon went like 500 nautical miles below, below safe depth for them.
No, this is my thing with Nymaera, is it's like, I think Vi is like a 6 out of 10 champ.
Right.
She's not terrible. She's fine. But you genuinely think Vi is one of the best things to be doing in all of League of Legends? Like,
right.
Like, 1 second, let me see.
And I mean, Vi is not strong right now.
Sorry, let me go look at the draft again. Okay, so they banned Wukong or Yunara Azir. Gen.G self-banning Azir is a weird one.
Right.
Why is Gen.G self-banning Azir? Are they saving it for later? So they want to take it. Okay, so here's my problem, right? Gen.G have self-banned Azir to then pick what's her name? Talia, right? That means you don't get the Talia counter, right? Which is fine. So the only way that this is ever good for you is if you plan on losing on blue side, because you would switch sides. If you say you didn't ban the Azir, so Azir would be like.
I think particularly with these two mid laners, I think some of the worry is, I pick Azir, they get Orianna and maybe BDD, who's been the best Orianna at the World Championship so far. Will get a good matchup out of that. But yeah, I don't think on blue side you should be touching either of those two champions as bans. I think you pick your choice of the two.
You pick Tally, and then you pick Vi in Corki, as you think. So they're the 3 best champions you think in the game against like Rumble Nico, because remember that's what's open.
Yep.
Like like already Chovi's champion is literally terrible because you have 2 anti-mobility champs, okay? Then they're then going to pick Yon. There's a 3rd anti-mobility champ, right? And then they're going to pick Jarvan, like one of the ultimate anti-mobility champs.
As in, like, folks, basically they're very good against immobile champions rather than like they stop, as opposed to like anti-mobility in the way that Talia Poppy work.
Yes, sorry. Like as your champion, like as your champion, like what do you call it? Requires it. Like they're like good once like it's taken away, and then they then get the creme de la creme. They get fucking Caitlyn. Like so, like, and you've seen it in the Baron fight top. Even if you use Zhonya's to stop any of the insta kills, Caitlyn follows up with and your dive just isn't as good as theirs.
My word, do I have a drink for this next game? No, I do need to go get a drink. Also, by the way, chat, this month's streams are brought to you by Opera GX. Please type !Opera GX in chat to get a referral link where you can help us out on the stream. That's a cool thing to do as well. So yeah, that's the thing which is starting today. I think the numbers update at the end of the day. So while it looks like 0 right now, I'm hoping it's not a 0. Anyway, I'm going to get myself a drink and I'll be back in a minute. Don't say anything too bad, Kira. You know, they gotta leave you as babysitter for the stream.
I will not. Morning, everyone. Morning, everyone. How are we all doing? Any questions for the stream? Any questions? Come forth, people of Nim stream. Arsenal going 8 points clear tonight. He said, "You must truly be a masochist." Doing great for a Saturday. Good. Hopefully we get a good series. Lobotomy. It will help you analyse. If KT win, it will help you analyse why. Because no matter what, it will be Chovi's fault. I wouldn't actually be that controversial. I actually think I'd be like fine on like casts and stuff like that. I do like good historical sections. I'm not actually like that controversial. I'm actually quite a professional people, which is ironic because my job isn't even in esports. Most people don't even know what my job is, so they'd probably be surprised. I get fired from my job like very, very easily. Yeah, sure, you are in love with pain. No, you should not stop watching Worlds if T1 wins Worlds. I don't think it's healthy for LoL, but I'm also a massive proponent for the best team. If the best team just keeps on winning, love them for that. Like, T1 are totally legit. Great team. They're one of the great crux teams of all time. I just think it's a lot of a nonsense that the one time Faker gets to play with Doran, like Doran, one of Doran's biggest weaknesses, which is tied matchups, doesn't need to do it.
Seriously, because it's not even like KT played a picture-perfect game, and you're like, well, can they repeat that? Because
yeah, KT's still not lost the game at Worlds. Yeah, it's hilarious. Other teams need to step up. Yeah, exactly. Like I've always said this. Like even when I talk about 2023 Blade Trinity, I've always said this. T1 were better than JDG as a team. Always said this. That is the crux of it. At Worlds, my argument was always just that like Faker wasn't shit stomping like Knight, and like there wasn't some massive mid lane gap. Like people in JDG ran it down, but guess what? Those people are on JDG. So
okay, back in time just for drafts.
They were genuinely the best team at the world. At 2020.
Which team?
3 Worlds. I'm talking about 2023 Worlds.
Oh, right.
You're saying other teams need to step up if people want T1 to stop winning. And I said, yeah, that's true. At JDG Worlds, T1 were the best team. Like JDG, like as I said, my contention was just I don't think Faker like stomped Knight. That was my contention.
No. And in fact, actually, folks, I mean, again, like we keep bringing this up every time. There's literally like us two have a 4-hour VOD review on the YouTube channel, which we're live on right now. And actually, I'll take, because I remember we did a podcast, and this is what led to the VOD review, where it was like, the comment was, wow, Knight was blasted by Faker. Faker just like shit on him. And then we did, and I remember like coming out of the stream thinking like, well, Faker was more valuable than Knight. Then we did the slow VOD review, and we're like, well, actually, both were very, very valuable, and it's hard. It's basically a hair's breadth between them. Faker had the clutch play at the end.
Yeah. Oh, okay, and see, look, Gen.G's had to do the exact same thing here again, because they don't plan on first picking the Azir. Which I think they used to. Okay, so
yeah, I don't like the banning. Is like you have Chove in your team. You don't have to do this.
Yes. Right. So Nim, this means.
Wait, hang on. Orianna was banned second. They banned the Azir when there was no Orianna to even count. What? That is just nonsensical.
So Nim, think about this. Gen.G have now completely reevaluated how they think of Azir in 2 months, because they used to first pick this champion no matter what.
And also, I don't even like the Trundle ban when Sion's already gone, because I think that Trundle is way more powerful when Sion's available, because you hold it as a Sion counter. I don't think it's that valuable. I guess with the mid lane bans now, we're looking at Ryze Galio trade potentially, or Ryze Cassiopeia trade. Both players play all 3 of those champions.
This is like the upside of having BDD, just following draft.
LCK Kiana, okay. So now you might Ryze Kiana. LPL, the way that they made this work is have point and click mid laner to allow the Kiana to just targeted one shot, where you don't have to hit skill shots because Rune Prison's on them. So typically we'd see Annie Kiana before Annie was nerfed, or then Ryze Kiana afterwards. So Ryze is the easy pick for BDD, and then you're looking at at Cassiopeia Galio now from Chovy, whatever his flavor of the month is. Does he want to have more team saving potential, or does he want to have more individual agency with a better laning phase with the Cassiopeia?
The other reason why I flinch is because to me, KT look best when Cos gets the impact early lanes. I think
they go Cassiopeia. I think they go Cassiopeia now. I think you give Chovy the better lane matchup.
So, this is where it gets hilarious. Here's what I think, and ironically what you should do is you should go Malzahar here.
Oh, we saw that a bit at ASI actually. Okay, no, so Ambassador Galio. Okay, alright, so they choose not to go the Cassio route.
I like this. You take to be fair, I really don't like Cassiopeia, because I think right now, relative to like her actual like thing, she's a bad champ.
Yeah, very hard to pilot as well.
Yeah, and even if you get that lead against like Ryze, your short range puts you in such risk of being decimated by the anti-mobility that you have on the W against Kiana's very nicely.
Yeah, because Kiana can hop, skip, and jump all she wants. If she walks into your zone, you die. So, But my problem here with going with the Galio is that with the Galio, they feel like they need the Ambessa as well for the combo. So you lock them in both. Whereas if you just lock Cassiopeia, you could have taken the Alistar as well. And you'd have Shinzo Alistar plus Cassiopeia, which is a very good front to back. Save your carry.
See, I think that you're fine here because I think that the champ on the right here should should you have not just taken Braum here?
I think Alistar is way more aggressive angles and allows you to shrug off the engage more. Yeah, I mean there was an argument for Braum. There was. I can see that, right? Because you see 3 melees and you think I want to meet grind a comp.
Yeah, because I'm thinking KT can just get like a crazy meat grinder comp if they have a Braum here. So they can just like. I think Gen.G would have a real hard time breaking through.
Oh, if you want to find our podcast, by the way, it's on Rich's Wrath on YouTube. It's called EuroLeague, but if you search EuroLeague, there's a load of basketball shows, so you can't find it through that. Swear to God, Rich talks about search engine optimization all the time, and he's got a fucking podcast, which is just, you can't find it if you search EuroLeague, because everything has EuroLeague. Anyway, so now you have Rek'Sai into the Ambessa. You can't... Look, this is actually a pretty even matchup again, in the same sense that Ambessa Sion or Ambessa Rek'Sai, you get pushes at different parts of the game, but neither of them really kill each other. Best you do is get a flash. You very rarely see solo kills in this matchup. I do really like the Ezreal here. I like this Ezreal a lot.
Yeah, and now, by the way, this is why I wanted Braum, because the range component on the right is you have no range.
Yeah.
There's literally no range. Okay.
KNG.
And the disengage component of Gen.G's draft should not actually be underestimated. So the only part of this I do not like, okay, is the Nautilus here.
Surely you don't pick the Varus into the Ambessa Galio Nautilus. I think Kai'Sa might have to be just the full send it mode, you know? Even then there are champions which deal with it well, but I don't think Varus is the answer at all.
If you have Braum here, you have Braum Kog'Maw. That's all I'm going to say. I'm being dead ass.
It's pretty bad into Ambessa now, because Ambessa hops over the Braum shield.
Yeah, even if she hops over the Braum shield, it still just delivers a target. Okay, now, right. KT's coaching staff have sacrificed their soul to like be a mute or something like that. That was crazy. Like they had such a good draft until the last 2 picks. that Rek'Sai and Varus pick there, you've just played directly into Gen.G's themes. So, even with poke Varus, it's so midsection is going to be hellish.
Yeah. By the way, when Kira says midsection, it's basically when your AD carries move to hold mid lane. Like you. Put it this way, right? If Nautilus or Ambessa come out of Fog of War and hit you with anything, Varus dies in this game. Because the follow-up is just so intense. I think that... Look, the snap pick from KT isn't bad either. I think realm warping Alistar or Rek'Sai into good positions gives you an X factor. My problem is, I just feel like the snap engage is way easier to execute from Gen.G's side. I don't think this is like unplayable for KT. I think they have the damage, but it's so risky because they're so low range into a bunch of champions which punish that.
So we're now on, by the way, Nymaera, what did I say to you? We are now on, no other team does this with their star player. We are now on game 2 of 2, right? Where Chovy has a losing jungle mid. Gen.G will just draft this every single game, by the way. They will never actually draft Chovy to have the most agency in the game. They will draft Canyon to have the most agency in the game.
I think Ruler's going to have a great time in this game.
Yeah, Ruler's champ's the best champ in this game.
Yeah, this is the kind of draft where... Look, I think the way that you evaluate Ezreal is basically... Once you're at 2 items, who can you kill within about, 4 Qs or whatever, basically. And I don't like seeing Ezreal into 2 hyper tanks. There is no hyper tank on the other side. Rek'Sai doesn't build resist. He builds a bit of, she builds a bit of HP. Ezreal can kill everyone on the enemy team, and it's not particularly hard, actually.
not wanting to run any big risks.
I will say Rise has the potential to run and gun this game too. And it is BDD.
Yeah, but the problem is, Blade Trinity, is that rule is true against 99% of the opponents in the world, but not BDD, because BDD is actually Chove. And for the first 15 minutes of any game, he's basically Chove. The only thing BDD is worse at than is worse at than Chove is he's worse at farm acquirement, and he's worse at like gold like thing on the map, like putting his gold leader on the map.
Yeah.
BDD is literally just Chove for 15 minutes.
Which is insane to say, given how good he is. Hey, thanks for the sub there, Analyt. Appreciate you. Okay, so it is Poke Varus. No, I mean, you have to go Poke Varus this game. You can't do much else with that.
Duro, I love you. I love you, Duro.
Huh?
Duro, just knowing the matchup there is really, really nice. He like starts with the W and just autos both people once.
Yep.
Making like, rather than just nice stuff to see. I never take anything like this for granted with like pro players.
Especially Duro, who, again, like reminder folks, this is Duro's first Worlds. How fucking good has Duro been? I mean, this guy's been so fun to watch this year. So we were doing an LCK podcast last year, but funny what happened to that this year. Yeah, we never scheduled a complete streak again. But we were talking about Duro basically being, you know, like this guy revolutionized BFX when he came in summer last year, and despite him having a bit of a shit winter, the belief was always that Duro could be a big upgrade for Gen.G over Lehans, as long as he kind of found his feet, and he really has. This guy's been so good, man.
Yeah, basically, like if they had just gotten the Canyon off last year, they would have been even more unstoppable.
Which is, and considering that we were calling Gen.G the best team potentially of all time, that is no small statement.
So again, just a little note, Chove, because on this matchup, because it's about push and not sustain against the Rise, he's went for the Doran's Ring rather than the
Doran Shield or something.
Yeah, Doran Shield, yes. Which suits the BDD to a T. BDD literally just needs to hit minions.
It's really underrated, by the way. Okay, maybe not actually, just because we've talked about it a lot for different players before. It is very easy for Galio to drop random CS because a lot of the time Galio has to try and get double value out of hitting both minions and enemy champion with Q and passive. But if you don't have Q and passive, you basically can't last hit. Not in lane. Galio's base AD is very low. You hang on a second. This could be a big play. Oh no, that's a stinker, Flash BDD. That's a stinker. You've lost Flash, died, and enemy mid jungle still managed to keep mid both flashes. That is a low roll from BDD there. Oh, that's not great.
BDD, that's a massive error from BDD. He's playing the wrong side of the lane as well. He's playing the left pocket when the right pocket is warded, and Kiana's in the left pocket. But Kiana's so far up river, you're not safe.
So that's kind of that's preying on muscle memory of my jungler is on this side of the map, I should be on this side of the lane, without realizing that they're not close enough for that to make a difference. So you were just saying, look, mid jungle, it's not winning for Gen.G, and I agree with that. Rise Kiana is obscenely broken. But the fact that they get the early kill, Canyon getting it is pretty big too, actually, because in this game, if Shinzao gets to 2 items a little early, or even just 1 item a little early, and just gets to just kind of bum rush you in most important moments, it changes the entire phase of the game, because it means that Shinzao can actually like jump on people that would normally force his ult early, like Kiana, Rek'Sai, Rise. They can all do that at points.
So the scary thing now is that now Canyon can try and like force project himself onto the map.
Yep.
With Duro. So here it is. Here's the link up. They're going to finish up Raptors. They have 1 camp respawning, and they're most likely going to link up to try and do something.
Shovi's got 6 on this set as well. So this is the huge... Oh, fucking hell. I actually think it was worth Duro flashing for that. I think you can insta-kill him now.
Yes. Yeah, I think you can. Yeah, I think it's actually worth killing him there on wave crash with no... Yep. Okay, so Duro and Canyon...
You can flash for passive here from Duro. Again, you can actually do the same thing to Kuz here, because you have the Galio ult in the pocket. I think Shovu was a little close to BDD that, but you can see how threatening this is, right? Gen.G have like a huge power play. The shotgun's loaded. They have some big play to make. The problem is now they've allowed KT to link up and actually get numbers on the same side of the screen.
Okay.
I mean, it's got 4 level 6. Duro might die. Where's the Galio ult?
They're gonna just take it. They're gonna just take the. They're just gonna take it and then use Chove to cover it.
Hang on, Chovy has flash. You can get a huge taunt here, no? There is a big Galliot to be used somewhere. I don't love how Chovy's held his ult for this long. I really don't like how he's held his ult for this long, man. This should have been so much easier.
Yeah, Chovy's played that really greedily.
Okay, I think Gen.G had a huge power play and they misplayed it. KT managed to... Oh, Cuz gets 2 out of... 3 out of this? Oh my god, that's huge for him.
It's a disaster. That should have just been a win from Gen.G.
And the important thing to note is that they probably had like a solid 3 attempts to make a big play before KT grouped up. And they couldn't find the big play onto them. I'm very surprised that they held onto that for so long.
Yeah, Chovy's first fucking... Chovy's first thing got... his first taunt gets disengaged by Alistar. So let's see where it goes so wrong here.
But reminder, there were like 2 chances to make a big play before this. You have Duro with flash. They hook the Alistar. That's fine because it's pre-level 6. I actually think that Chovy had to pull the ult early just to make sure that Duro gets more HP out of this. Because Duro takes like all of his HP because KT don't have any... There's nothing threatening them. They can just stand there and hit. And you're fighting from such a HP disadvantage at this point, you can't make it back. Even there, you can ult a little earlier onto the Shins there, no?
Yeah, like... He's also just got mana concerns because now he's just out of mana.
Yeah. Cuz is so fucking fed now. I mean, this Kiana with this kind of lead just flips the equation.
Okay, we'll see what Gen.G do from here.
Nervous is Gen.G feeling because the pressure is going to be mounting. Something goes bad.
And now they're playing from behind the game against a Kiana who's slingshotted into the lead against a Shinzao that should have been able to bully out the map.
And rightfully so, but
yeah, now Kiana is going to be on an early Profane Hydra, and it's like...
And that item is shit until you complete it, so the fact that you managed to get yourself power through to it is kind of huge.
Okay, they're here early, and they want to play it. They're going to play it.
Hang on, Shinzao ult's pretty big here, no? They're only damaging the Nautilus. Oh, it's shut down to... This is going to be shut down over to Ruler. Oh, he gets 2? Okay, now this... Okay, KT have now just completely just thrown this game back into the abyss. Both these teams had, like, big power plays, and they've kind of failed on their aggressive motions.
Duro's standing his ground there and, like, just delaying the play onto Peter, and KT not just letting Peter go. Oh, that is huge. And Cuz isn't going to come out onto the same side of the map to take the grubs.
Well, there's not much you can do about that with especially now his ult's down and stuff. You can't.
Yeah, no, you can't touch it. Oh.
So you get 3 grubs out of that for Gen.G. Ruler is going to get accelerated to 2 items. And I think as soon as Ruler hit... I mean, obviously Azrael 2-item spike has always been big. But I think in this game, Ruler at 2-item spike just completely controls the game.
Okay, nice invasion here on the bot side for the boys. They're going to sit in that bush, canyon towards it. Nice.
First Alistar ult of the game could actually be pretty big. I think that Alistar just buying enough time for a second rotation from Kiana can be enough to flip a fight.
This is... I mean, at least it's going to be a really interesting game. There's the problem
very
is
spiky gold now.
BDD. I don't think KT's gold lead's big enough from lanes though. Like I think top lane's gold lead should be bigger. I think mid lane's gold lead should be bigger.
Yeah, I think that yes, I agree with that. Solo lanes from KT, you'd expect them to be a little further ahead in the matchups, but that's just the nature of Gen.G. Gen.G are very good at taking like slight losing or slight winning matchups and taking it. So they'll make slight losing matchups into even matchups. They'll take slight winning matchups into majorly winning matchups.
Keen's a freak, by the way. How is Perfect only up 200 gold?
Yeah, yeah, especially in this matchup. Rek'Sai is meant to get just unparalleled push. You can never remove them from lane. The early base damage is insane. Your itemization is kind of nuts as well because you get tunneler items first, which is very big.
Do you hard TP someone into a pocket to try and kill Ruler with Rek'Sai plus?
Well, while he doesn't have flash, yeah. Also, he's not running a second defensive summoner or something like that. He's running teleport, which is...
Here comes the... Yep, okay. Oh, nice from Chove.
He doesn't have flash, so he's probably dead here. Does he get phase rush? He does. Ooh! Fucking hell, that's close.
But it absorbs a lot of the damage with the W, which is nice.
And that's the bonus of going for the early tank items as well.
Cousin Duro just staring it.
Chovy has ult, no TP, but so he can still get onto the map. Rek'Sai is proxying.
Good Rek'Sai player.
Oh, by the way that you properly proxy is if you really want to do like the full proxy thing, is you proxy between the two turrets, and then you go for one wave, then you go to the next one, and then you recall and you walk back with your wave to make sure that the enemy player can't proxy you on the next one, which is kind of cool.
Oh, there it is. Like now that play there has unlocked. Like BDD's gotten 2 plates.
Yep.
Joey's an absolute freak sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, he's now... The problem was just that first power play they had. I think they pulled the... This is something which I actually criticize anyone's Legend for across the year, and I didn't criticize Gen.G for this, because I thought they were much better at this. Anyone's Legend were bad at taking small wins and just saying that's enough, because they were looking for the perfect play. I think Gen.G in that play, when they were just about going towards that dragon, they couldn't quite pull out the Galley ult in the right moment. I think they were looking for the perfect play rather than the good play. Because they could have just flash forward and killed BDD with the hook when he had no flash in mid lane.
So,
could have gone on to Cuz as well. Yeah.
So Duro is going to clear out. Is going to look to clear out top side.
Yeah.
So that means this is the next link up play. So now Duro and Duro and Canyon are now going to link up again and do something. This is usually the next timing from Gen.G for them to go and do something together.
By the way, for people who are not aware of this matchup, you should not be even as Ambassador versus Rek'Sai. You should be minimum 10 CS down. I know it's like going into like mid parts of the game now, but the fact that you're only 200 gold down against a champion with far better push and trading than you early game up until you get into like 2 items or so is not normal. Keen is playing this matchup very well, and Perfect is getting a bit diffed too.
I do respect Perfect just not playing the matchup versus Keen and Proxton, by the way.
Know thyself.
No, I know thyself.
I think I told you about this on stream before, but people in chat that missed this. There was a point earlier on in the tournament, sometime early into Swiss, that there was someone on Onivia's chat, which just it made me cackle the comment they made, because we were talking about player top 20 lists, and they were basically saying, look, it's completely useless to make top 20 lists because someone on the day of the game will just eat a second banana instead of just one, and it will completely throw them off, and they'll go from being the best player in the world to being the worst. And then someone replied to them saying, well, being part of the best player in the world is knowing how many bananas you need, and knowing that the second banana will cause the issue. So it's the second banana diff.
It's the second banana diff.
Like, it just got me. Oh god, it's the second banana diff. I mean, there is something about lifestyle and understanding like your pre-game rituals and stuff like that. Sometimes it gets too far, and you build up this intricate house of cards for your pre-game ritual, but yeah.
VP had a really bad tournament in Dota because they didn't have their own cigarettes, so because they would always go out and smoke as a team as like a ritual,
right.
And what happened was they just they didn't have their cigarettes. It was a different cigarette brand, so they all weren't like smoking.
Right.
And so it effed up their whole like team cohesion, and that's such a funny thing to say as an excuse to someone. But if you know anything about you know what I mean, it's just funny if you hear.
By the way, this is why people like Roman and like very good team managers who know their players very well and understand. You know, for someone like Caps, right, who's actually, you know, he's someone who's worked with him for such a long time. Like, you know how to get the minor things right to help them just play like themselves, and that can be genuinely a very, very big thing.
So, this is the problem with Poke Varus, as usually, now we watch Khalif, and a reason, we watch Khalif, and he would aggressively use the Yomus to try and burn resources.
Yeah, so what he would do, he'd pop the move speed to try and get, like, cleanse or flash out of the Ezreal by throwing ult at him. Obviously, you get punished by that if you overstep, though, which is what happened later into the Ithaca list.
Yep, and so, but here, as the problem is Dr. Dam just doesn't do this, and he's going to give basically Ruler a free ride in mid section, and that's what Ezreal wants. Like, Ezreal's problem is he dominates the enemy champ in mid section, but he has a wave clear problem. But you wave clear at basically the same rate with Poke Varus. Right, we're bringing all the boys.
Yeah. I mean, this is before the 2-item spike from Ezreal. Canyon's charging up his Q3. You need to be so... Hang on a second. That's ult for free out of Peter? He needs to go now. Yeah, he needs to go now. It's only an ult onto a tank Galio. Don't like that from Canyon popping the ult there. He really kills Peter here, no? Okay, he's got E back up now. That's a dead. That's probably a dead BDD. Very good Nautilus ult to get the double knock up as well. Perfect.
That's all. Yeah, this whole game.
This game's just gone now. Triple kill to Ruler. This will fund him his 2 items. He's gonna get 2 items before 20 minutes, folks. Like, this guy is gonna be so fucking fed. Now, you understand the mindset. You understand the mindset because Peter cannot fight without ult, and you want to take a fight before the 2 items, and you have the Kiana who's so very fed and a very good... the terrain's not in a bad spot for them there. But then, basically, as Peter gets his ult blown defensively here, the follow-up is not really in position. So right here, he pops the ult early, and they're like, we need to go now. If BDD and Cuz are like half a step closer, it goes wild. It's not quite there. It's really sucky. Peter just gets I don't know. You have to call off the play there, I think. Just give up, Peter. Like, yeah, I don't know. Threading the needle doesn't quite work there.
The crazy thing about Duro is, and people shouldn't get like twisted. Like I do actually consider him a little bit like I'm gonna say it like quickly. So
go on, flame him now. Go on.
No, I do consider him like a little bit carried because he basically just lives in like the graces of like Keen, Chove, etc.
We were saying the same stuff about Pays last year on Gen.G. Where actually he's a good player, but when you've got all these players on the team, what's the actual take?
But it's actually freakish, like how good he is for like Gen.G's style. Okay, can you get in the pit? Can you get in the pit?
Okay, so no steal. BDD he's out of the fight. Your damage is gone now. How many do you lose? Is it just the 1? If it's just the 1, I think you're okay. Whatever, dragon for 1. I think you're okay with that.
Yep.
And now what you're doing is you're praying for an Atakan mishap from Gen.G to get KT back into the game.
I feel like I've not seen. Oh.
Hang on. Hang on, he's gone way too far. Way too far. Oh my god, they've just thrown the whole lead back. So they get dragon. Oh, Ruler, my dude, that's not the play. Kina just fucking backed off. There's no, like, just give up your support. Very disrespectful, but I mean, Ruler, my dude, you can't give up that kind of shutdown.
What is going on in this game, man?
That is sloppy play. Because the whole team is like, okay, player's over, we're resetting. And then they, I don't know, Jiro, whatever, sometimes it happens. Jiro, I think you just give him up for dead there. The fact that Ruler goes in trying to trade 1-for-1, a 1-for-1 is not worth it there. Oh, Jesus.
What? Okay, and anyway, so right there's no objective up. Rise doesn't have flash. Canyon and Co lay onto the objective, so he has to did they blast plant or flash into pit?
Does he get hit by? I don't know, man. There's just. The thing is, if Ezreal is actually right by you, and he can E out of the play rather than E into it, that's actually not bad. But I don't see why you'd go for that play in the first place there. You need to spend a lot of your gold still. God, 3 kills for that misstep? That's bad.
For no reason, when you're in complete control of the game. Sloppy. That's what I'm saying.
Not gonna lie, folks, this series has had a couple of, this game at least has had a couple of moments like that. It's fun, but you can tell the pressure is getting to them a bit.
Yeah, this is what it's like how often do you actually, like, when we were playing, I don't get what it is, like, against HLE, we actually see the Gen.G that, like, in LCK, where they're, like, calm, composed. Anyone who, by the way, anyone who put KT here, you're, that's just Azael, Dracos, Iris. Come on, guys. Like, that's not what you don't do a double lift.
It's the content. It's the content. I'm
just saying. Yeah, but the problem is those people are like those people are analysts, and it's like if you can do like a Gen.G like heal thing, like like this is literally just like the double lift thing for like on like Worlds like years ago. I actually want to see all of these people say Gen.G, right? And so when Gen.G, not Gen.G, KT, sorry, I want them all to say Gen.G, so when KT wins, like, it's like, yeah, like, that was, like, you get what I mean? That'll be hilarious if it's 3-0, though. Shout out to Dale fans.
I mean, I don't know, coming out of quarterfinals, I think a lot of people are still stuck in regional mentality for KT. I think they've been playing way better at Worlds than they have done the entire year. I think KT haven't looked better than this the entire year, which is very cool for them.
I think it just really helps the fact that like Bjorkdam just refuses, isn't just killing himself anymore.
I think that KT's like their drafts have been pretty good and the meta take on the meta's been pretty good. I think the other thing for them is that I think the way that they reset and take fights on cooldown when they're available to do so has been really impressive. Like the actual strategy behind them smashing top esports in the Swiss. I know that top esports play badly, but they actually played that quite confidently, which was a very intelligent game from them.
Do not start this objective.
Nope. I really hate when teams start Adacon. I don't think you should ever start Adacon unless it's a free, unless the whole team, unless you can one-shot it before they get there.
Okay, now you basically just need Ruler to be in topside. Okay, they're going to do that actually. So now they're going to put the Ezreal in topside to secure Atkan, which I respect, because that's your most powerful range champion. He gives you the best force projections of your gold lead. Okay, nice.
Keen has TP. He's happy to do this as well. That means, I mean, there's a minute till Dragon. I guess you can't play both sides of the map. Gen.G could have, I mean, what they could have done, because they have the extra teleport, they could have also played heavy bot side and then responded to Atacama with TP, and then if KT don't have an adequate setup, then you just take Dragon anyway, because then you get the soul point.
So as KT, do you leave up a trap here of both objectives, whichever one they don't go to you take, because you... Or...
That's the thing, we keep seeing that, but teams still have the confidence to start it, right? They're going to go right to it. And we've seen that time and time again, but Dragon spawning here in 5 seconds, KT...
They need to be careful, because Perfect does have access to their bottom side quadrant jungle.
Yeah, and that's kind of a consequence of Keen playing the hyper respectful around bot side. I think Gen.G could have played less heavy on top side, so they're double teleporting in. I don't know, I think Gen.G could have just set up heavier on bot side. Perfect's got a great angle into bot side. I think this is a better setup for KT. They've gotten to the objective well, they have Perfect on a good flank. This is looking for a steal now, you know? Oh my god, and fucking Cuz gets it, man. The setup is just not good enough from Gen.G, man. Ruler, my dude, that's not the play. Perfect still got his ult to hold on to him too. This is poor objective setup from Gen.G. That's still, I mean, flash for flash between them, I guess. Oh, he just misses it. Fucking close, man. Oh my god, but like, you can see the decision-making from Gen.G was, I think, too defensive around Atacama, and I think with the triple teleport, they could have just played heavier towards bot side, and then set up towards Dragon, which would have gotten soul point. You have 3 look, you could have just teleported up towards the Atacama, which is much easier to take as the pit retake team rather than Dragon.
Gen.G will win Atacama though, because they're less reliant on their ultimates, like way less. How does Canyon not get that? What?
I really don't like Rulers either, while Rek'Sai also has E up and flash. That's very disrespectful from Ruler.
Oh, Ruler's having a mare here, man.
Yeah, I don't know. Given how good Ezreal should be in this draft, Ruler is not playing this out the way that I'd like him to.
So frustrating. So KT feel good about it, 4 for 4, get the Dragon, but Gen.G should be on Atacama, or like should be in position to just take Atacama.
I didn't. Well, this is the problem with replays over resets, right? I don't actually get to see timings and everything.
Oh, look at Bjorkdam's damage.
Insane.
How's that?
Are KT playing it really good, or is Gen.G whiffing it? I mean, obviously it's a healthy amount of both, as it tends to be in a lot of situations like this. I think they reacted very well to getting towards the Dragon quickly after noticing that Gen.G were not heavily defending bot side. Like, they poked in towards Atacama, saw Gen.G respond towards top side.
Yeah.
They took up station on bot side instead and said, okay, we'll set up towards Dragon. And Gen.G, yeah, they chose to contest with worse setup, which is typically, actually, that's the kind of thing you see LPL teams do, not LCK teams. So I'm kind of surprised to see Gen.G doing that.
Respect to Canyon for just starting this objective, man. Like, I thought Gen.G were gonna let
well, I mean, all ults are back up, which is a bit spooky.
Yeah, like
BDD has Realm Warp. Maybe you can Realm Warp in. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. So this time, look, most of this series, and this applied to game 1 too, most of this series has who turns up to the objective first and holds the space. Most of game 1 was basically just team that was on the objective first tended to win, which is much more of an LCK thing than anywhere else in the world. Not that it always is, but for instance, T1 are probably the best objective retaking team in the world.
Yeah, so that's why they're the great heel of LCK, because they don't anyone else.
Now, sometimes you'll get like one team which is so hyper good within their region, but not at the style which the region plays. Like, they play a counter style to their region. And and T1 are that for the LCK, where they are very, very good at kind of retaking the pit. Of course, it hasn't led to them actually winning LCK, but it does allow them to have a very different kind of team profile to the one which you... Hang on a second! Fucking hell, Docdown's putting out some damage, man.
So, that's a little point for you, Jester. How's Varus basically out of the meta? Varus is always, like, in pro play is always a different champion. Because in terms of power...
Oh, bad miss from Cuz, but they do get the turret anyway.
In terms of power, Varus is basically usually like a B pick. But in terms of versatility, he like, it cannot be denied. Versatility of builds, versatility of lanes, versatility of drafts that he fits into. He's like S tier because of a lot of his...
Has there been a single best of 5 reverse sweep since Fearless in C1? Yeah, I mean, Gen.G did it to HLE in Road to MSI. There's been 2 or 3, I think. At least 2, but yes, Gen.G did it to HLE. Back in, like, spring.
And it all started off with Canyon trying to kill Zika.
Yeah.
Oh my god, they're just going to rip it.
I mean, BDD's out of position. Wait, okay, so they do see this happening. I don't know, this is a little bit rough. They get the teleport out. They're going to get the ult out of Peter for free. He's way too far up, man.
Okay.
I don't know about committing that hard to it.
BDD, they're looking for BDD.
Didn't have the flash to punish it though.
If they want to do that, they have to commit Keen's ult, like to like grab people on the V. Ugh.
I mean, they get the teleport out of BDD, which helps the side lane situation a bit more. But now, once again, Gen.G have set up on top side rather than bot side. Are they gonna be on bot side in time to contest? I feel like Gen.G's dragon setups have been really quite slow this game.
But I think a lot of it just stems from Canyon, like from Canyon here. Like Canyon just prioritizes his own individual like farm like so much. So again, yeah, they're gonna be late.
They're late to the dragon again. So KT have the advantage here. You have all your ults. Well, you don't have Varus ult. This is a big pick. Awesome pick from Jiro. This could actually like save the entire setup because now Peter. Oh, Ruler's on top. He actually gets the skill shots this time. Okay, honestly, Duro just saved this entire setup. If you don't land that hook, you're actually in a losing scenario. Even with the Alistar ult down, you're in a losing scenario.
And here's the thing. Again, it's not that I think like Duro is like the best like support in the world, but he's so well themed, or like his playstyle is so well like designed for the way Gen.G want to play.
Yeah.
Like so he ends up he's a better fit than like Ming would be, or like if you like a person who plays like Ming, if you understand, or like Korea actually. That's just the best one to say. Like, okay, Duro, you need to burn your flash for this setup, bro.
Yes, yeah, you need to make sure you don't want to flip this. Flipping is the worst case for Gen.G. You do not want to flip this.
Duro, you know where Cuz is. Just run at him. You're fucking Nautilus.
I mean, I guess he's afraid a little bit of Docdown. Now they're leashing this way too much, no? Oh my god, they're leashing it. Oh, Jesus Christ, that was close!
What are Gen.G doing? Oh,
this is so sloppy, but it's fucking fun. Hang on, Peter's...
oh no, his ult's too good.
Oh, great, yeah. Hang on, no, Perfect's doing pretty good damage here.
Yeah, but Ruler's untouched. Yep. He's just going to check him in the
Chovy still has flash, that means it's playable. Holy shit, that is fast and loose. This is not how I expect Gen.G to win games. This is getting very flippy, folks.
That was absolutely... If I'm the Gen.G coaching staff...
The belt's coming out, folks. The belt is coming out.
Yeah, there is no reason to play like that. There's no upside.
Yep. I think this is the point where you use Canyon Duro Flash aggressively to not just tank... Chovy completely saves this, by the way, by getting the Taunts, because... and not that it's very easy to do that. Holy crap, though. That is messy.
And by the way, I know, like... That is... But that was just basically, you just pulled the pachinko machine, like, you know what I mean? Like, you just pulled like the reels, and whatever came out is what you got. Like, no, that was scary, Nymaera. Like, it really was. Like,
and this is not like if BLG played like that, I kind of come to expect it from BLG. I don't expect this from Gen.G.
And again, and this is nothing to take away from KT. I think KT's done a really good job considering this game. I consider this like a 75-25.
No, KT have done a good job to actually like pull the odds into their favor. And like particularly the play around 4th dragon, was it? Or was it 3rd? Might have been 3rd dragon.
And now the range advantage, it's going to just be rough.
Yeah. In credit to Docdam, though, I know the gold lead doesn't look good for the bot lane matchup. Docdam's been doing very well with the pocket he's been given this game.
But and this is what I always like to would like the cast to distinct a little bit more. Where Ruler's gold advantage was not extracted from Docdam.
No.
It was extracted from being like situations set up by like its team. So it's less of a 1v1.
Yeah, no, it's not. It feels. I mean, it is technically correct to say Ruler is ahead of Docdam. I will say, one thing which I'll say is, one thing. In fact, I might even pitch this to LEC. I don't know whether you'd like this in chat, folks, but in terms of where are the champions in regards to the pace of the game? Because Ruler's ahead of everyone is the way you should be phrasing it, really. Because Ruler's been getting everything from the map. He's not just ahead of the individual matchup, he's ahead of everyone. And that means it kind of divorces it from the 1v1. Gen.G have put the resources into Ruler, Ruler has gained them, but it's not because Docdam is behind. Docdam is still doing well compared to his place in the game. He's 4-2-9. You know, I guess he's dropped a bit of farm at this point, but Docdam is not the person who's given this goal to Ruler, which is what it looks like at the bottom of the screen, obviously.
Yeah, here we go. We have actually, by the way, we have a graphic for this in Dota. It's just called the net worth graph. It just puts everyone's net worth in a
I mean, we do have the side bump for that. Actually, no, in fairness, that kind of does exist already. I'm just wondering if there's a better way to show it. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I'm overcomplicating it. There is a graphic for that where you can just bring up everyone's gold.
Oh, and can you thingy that during the cast, like just summon that during the cast?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. There's a lot of back-end stuff which occasionally has problems with that.
Because what I'm saying is really funny is if you're streaming Dota, the casters control bringing up that information.
Oh, that's a really good pick out of Toggleful. Nice.
See, now that's Gen.G. Like that little play, really
control an area, get your pocket of vision, quick play out of it, use nothing important. Awesome.
Everybody, you'll never see someone like me, and I really try to not like. And it's a little pet peeve of this when people criticize people like Cuz for dying there. That situation is virtually unplayable.
Yep.
But basically what you're saying is you should never leave the wall of your base.
Exactly.
You can't play like that.
Sometimes you just need to make a bit of a gamble, pull a machine, and just hope something works out for you.
Yeah, and sometimes against a team of Gen.G's caliber, you'll fall into like the trap. I think Cuz has played outside the top lane acceleration play. I just think Cuz has played a bunch of these fights.
Yep.
Holy
fucking hell. He'd stacked up his Shojin, so that was the extra 12% damage on it.
Against Ocean Soul, it is so hard to really have much value.
He says that he permaflames Lahens for 2023. By the way, I think Lahens in 2023 is like one of those.
23 or 24, which year?
24, sorry, that Noah's just talking about. I think it's like one of like the. It's still the craziest thing to me was him winning MVP.
Yeah. What, was that MSI or?
No, he won. MSI, he deserved that. He was incredible at MSI.
Yeah.
But was it on KT or was that maybe 1 second? Maybe I'm getting it wrong. 1 second. I've maybe got my dates wrong.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
But yeah, I mean, look, last year, the thing with Lahens last year is that if Gen.G were to lose games, it was almost like 90% certain it was 3 Lahens doing some weird shit. Oh god, I love the guy, but also he was quite the Achilles heel for that team.
Just delay, wave clear, try to hang on.
I like Lahens as a player. It's the same as the Malrang effect. It's like I think they're fun as anything to watch. Like,
but sadly, you do have to call things into question.
Again, just masterful.
Let me go get that information. They're making the approach so. Yeah, like Lahens was first team. Chovy was thing, and then Spring.
Okay, Chovy's very tanky though. I don't know if this is worth it. You have nothing left for Ruler now. He has flat. This is a little bit rough from Chovy now. Oh, Jesus. Okay, well, I mean, they do pretty well to stop Chovy from getting that much value, and you still got a GA to chunk through. Juro's waddling his way over. Well, you don't have any DPS now. Oh, almost nice though. Wait, that actually ends up being like a 2-for-1. That's not awful for KT.
No, it's not. That's what's crazy.
Get GA out of Canyon as well. Cuz is alive. If Cuz can get if he can get onto one camp, there's nothing on this side of the map. He can't regen up. I mean, if he gets onto red buff, he's gonna get spotted anyway. Bloody hell. That was close, man. Lahens is the Korean version of Hylissang? No, that's Beryl. That is Beryl. I mean, as much as I love some Lahens, yeah.
That went to 1 HP, that just terrified me.
So you have Ocean Soul, you got Baron.
Oh.
Yeah, you can see how much damage that shit does when you stack up your Shojin and then you hit someone with the ult. Slaps.
I really don't, if you're Gen.G, I really don't think you want this to go to Elder.
No, not at all. Yeah, I agree. Because that opens up a flip opportunity. That is one of the few ways you lose the game at this point. I have to say, though, as well, like, Keen being deathless in a game as messy as this is insane, by the way. I know that the cooldowns aren't being used onto him, but given how messy things are and how much random damage can come through from, like, Kiana or Rek'Sai alongside the Rise and the Varus, staying deathless whilst also having big impact in fights is very good for Keen.
This is one of the funny, this is one of the funny things of, like, Keen is literally the guy who is literally counterpicking every single game with like Renekton on KT, and then when he's on like Gen.G, he's like a completely different player. He was a Victor top OTP at one point. Like, this guy has so many faces to his like game. He's one of the most like versatile,
yes,
like, top
and he's he's been high level on every single style. I think people forget because before the Shy, really, no one was good at both tanks and carries. I genuinely don't think this is the thing nowadays, because I think everyone does a little bit of everything. But
I think in his best year, I think but it was a lot.
Someday and Marin were very good at that. But I think that it was crazy because the Shy was the best in the world at both styles at once, kind of, because he was just a freak of nature. People forget how good his Sion was back in Season 8, and his Sion and Ornn, even though he was like the Kayla Kali guy.
Keen just tanking that. Was that Mikhail's Paul?
No, it's Mikhail's Scimitar. They don't have Mikhail's.
Scimitar, good catch.
Yep. It's got the different. It's got a little bit of like the trail at the feet, because it gives you the movement speed as well. So you can see Scimitar's a little different.
Yeah.
Mikhail's has a slightly different one too, because there's like I don't know. It's slightly different, but I don't know how to describe it.
Every day's a school day, kids. Okay, Duro's just getting blasted. And anyway, I started blasting. Get nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and as you're saying, you want to. Oh my god! So Dogtam's now in a position he doesn't have flash. Yeah, there's your Ambassador Galio. Dogtam's actually doing a pretty good job of disengaging this though. Dogtam is still alive. Can they save the game? No, they can't. All right. I thought Dogtam was just insta-dead, because whenever Ambassador Galio lands, you just assume someone dies, but Dogtam lives there, which is a little next to surprises. But I will say, folks, Ruler being 13-3, Ruler is not the MVP of this game, folks. I don't think he is.
I think it's Duro somehow.
I actually think it's Duro being MVP.
I think it's Duro.
Oh, no, it could be Keen. Actually, Keen has been very, very consistent too.
Yeah.
But, like, Ruler's had the gold. Put it this way. Ruler has had the allotted you have fun game. You know? He has been the one to chosen to have the most fun this game.
I think, I think Thingy's been the best player in the game, in the server. I think, sorry, the most consistent player in the server, but Duro's been a part of the most gold acceleration. Just kill it. Kill it, please. Please. Nice. Right. So that was like a 6 out of 10.
Hey, Duro, by the way.
Gen.G. Duro. Some lovely setups. I think he played the Baron one not so great.
Yeah, there was the one on the bot side jungle where they got 3 off of him going too close to the blast gun. That was pretty bad. I think maybe Keen would be my player of the game for that, because he was very impactful while having basically no part in any of the big ints. Like, for quarterfinals, I would argue that Peter was actually more important in his big plays than BDD was, but also Peter did some healthy inting, which meant that BDD walks away with the MVP from that, you know?
I do feel like Gen.G are so good at executing.
Okay, I'm gonna go a quick toilet break, folks. So I'm gonna put on an air break. I'm gonna quickly run off. But yeah, see you in 1 second.
Does a lot of damage, yeah. He does. Hey, it didn't start off great for Gen.G. It actually started off phenomenal for KT. Okay, paint me a picture if you're a Kiana and you get into this game and you get like 3 kills.
You feel amazing.
How do you feel and what happens?
That's why this series has been so fun to watch, because it has been close, because it has been a roller coaster. And this roller coaster started out with LCK Kiana actually getting 3 kills. And LCK Kiana does not usually win games. Well, didn't end up winning this one either. But he did get us hyped, though, with the chase down river. And look at how they split the fight. So the realm warp that BDD puts down, look at Doctum. He fakes like he's going into it, then he cancels it, walks back to BDD, and so everyone turns. Peter then did take it, came back, heads butts, to be able to get the other extra kill here. And it's just the spacing that KT had in this fight around the Galio, around the engages from Gen.G was really nicely played.
It was I feel like of all junglers, Cuz has a little LPL jungler style in him, you know? Like, he interacts with his lanes really well, like bringing out the Kianas in line with some of the other picks we've seen from him, the Viego, the Nocturne, you know? So I also just loved how they did play with space, like you pointed out, with Peter kind of baiting Gen.G into pressing forward.
But it wasn't going to last, Kobe, unfortunately for KT.
That's why it's a roller coaster.
Whoa! What happens next?
Next one we have is a really good Gen.G fight where they actually space out Peter himself, the Alistar. They work around these Alistar cooldowns. So let's take a look here, because the engage at the very beginning is one of the critical parts. Let's roll through this. You see them going on to the Alistar here, immediately backing up after he ults. Then they kind of draw out that plus the Kiana CC, so they know all the major CC from KT has been used. And look at how methodically Gen.G moved this fight forward. Ruler ends up flashing forward after the Alistar ultimate fell off. Then Duro hits an amazing hook here into the Chovy combo that sets up for Canyon to wrap around through the Rift Herald pit and come through and set up these 3 kills for Ruler. You were talking about Ruler, the caliber of this player. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame basically already. And if you give him a bunch of money on Ezreal.
I'm with you. We've got to debate what skin and what year right at this point. But 100% the big thing for me there is look at Cuz in that fight. He has no space to play. In that long drawn out initial fight before everyone's level 6, he had room on this Kiana, but against the Galio, the Nautilus, it's so impossible. He's in melee range of Ruler, and he is helpless in that fight, which just shows how confident Gen.G are in the comp that they put together.
Yeah, and Cuz and BDD thinking, oh, he's done this to us before at Worlds in China. But yeah, Ruler goes absolutely huge, and he's, you know, of all the I don't want to say 2-pronged attack from Gen.G, it's like 5-pronged at this point, but he's such an important tip of the spear.
1,300 damage per minute.
Yeah, Ezreal's usually get around 1K sometimes. This is insane. And also I want to point out the damage percentage. Actually, both ADs, I think, were at about 40% across this entire game.
And if we look at this, what I was looking at for 2017 versus 2025, KT's looking to rewrite history.
Yeah, and I mean, we pointed out how it's Gen.G now who are kind of in that Longzhu spot, despite the fact that it was Longzhu coming out 6-0 in groups. But then lost to Samsung and Ruler in that quarterfinals. Now, Cuz and BDD looking for their revenge. They'll have to go back to the drawing board.
Right, chat. Question.
Yeah, and it's not the worst place to be in. It's a 1-1 because you did win that first game. I do think they still showed a lot of fight in the second
Shot's wearing
one.
something
very
extravagant.
Of game 1, perhaps Gen.G is conditioned and KT is conditioned that they can turn around even deficits in this game, because they even did it in this game, Dracos, when they were behind.
Well, and I do like that they're confident to force those plays. Perfect had that final play where they made it work. They were too far behind in gold, but I like that despite some flubs,
Any questions from chat? It's always so weird for me, someone who's written League of Legends terms, it's so old, to see somebody like Emily. So people might find it strange, okay? They're like, oh, like I'm basically just a Discord user, and I'm on these like shows. But to me, Emily is literally just like a Discord user of old. And so for me to see her on these shows is particularly strange for me, because she was literally just someone who was on like a 50 viewer show called China Talk and done other little side PCs and worked with Kelsey, and now she's on the world final analysis desk. Can you imagine how strange that is?
Might just look at the lane and then being like, yeah, but he didn't get like that far ahead or 1 million miles ahead in either games, but he's just really good at converting what he has into what the team needs, into the team fights.
Yeah, and in these team fights, you could tell he had such great backline access. The public executions were really, really good coming out of him. And then by contrast, it was so difficult for KT to get onto Ruler.
Yeah, and I am excited to see what BDD
Oh, sorry,
does with
semis.
Kodoff.
Yeah, sorry,
what
Blood
they've
Tonight,
done
semis. Yeah,
Champion
but yeah, it's what. Very strange.
Whatever. We got to keep going. Okay,
Very,
but what I will say is I'm
very
very
strange.
concerned for Perfect because in the top lane, he plays Scion, he plays Rumble, he plays Renekton. Game 1, we lost 2 of those. The Rek'Sai didn't look good. I don't know where he goes.
I was giving him some grace, but it was rough.
This is a big issue. A mass is, many top laners really struggle to find matchups to play into Keen deep into Fearless.
As Ruler, Arcane shifts forward, he wants part of this fight. Canyon with the Crescent Guard, Chain of Corruption will lock him up, and it missed times as they go in. Ruler able to pick up one, another hook coming out from Duro. The depth charge on the back line into the taunt from Chovy. Gen.G rule the rift as KT can find nothing.
Gen.G showcasing.
Yeah, but there are certain matchups that like King can do to.
Hey players, I know a lot of you have been asking about the winter map and why we haven't been able to do it, and I'll tell you, it's really difficult. Our tech and tools need some work. Hand painting everything in the map itself is a lot of effort, and not to mention there's gameplay clarity. And can we just talk about how even though it's winter in the northern hemisphere, in the southern hemisphere it's summer, and isn't that where Medler's from? He's from New Zealand, right? So I don't know if we're gonna be able to pull it off. But you know what? Because you really asked for it, we're just gonna do it anyways. Winter map is coming back, everyone. Winter
Okay, we back. Hello.
25 somewhere else. It's winter everywhere.
By the way, Noah, again, one of my friends plays a lot of tabletop. Outside of the hyperscalers, okay? So outside of the insane hyperscaler top lanes, I'm talking about your Kales, your Gwens, your Fioras of old, maybe your Ryze, right?
Gwen was in there too. Oh, not Gwen, sorry, Camille. No points.
Camille, right? Teemo might be the best scaling top lane.
Teemo's insanely good. If you get to 6 items, Teemo's one of the most broken champions of the game in specific moments.
And he has loads of good matchups. Like you see an Aatrox deep into Fearless, you can just pick Teemo.
Teemo ult is one of the most broken things in the game for a pro level. In the same way that the meta for about 2 years solid was, maybe even 3, was determined by Maokai because his saplings just broke pro play. Teemo can do the same with his ult, he's just not as good as a useful champion outside of that in most situations.
Oh yeah, and here's the thing is, what do you call it? I actually do think later into Fearless 3, 4, 5 as like a counter, there's plenty of like Teemo angles that aren't just novel. I think it's
but this is the problem. I think that like that kind of thing needs to have significant time put into it to research it to the point where pro players like it. Now, this is the problem. There are a bunch of champions which should be played even if you are not the best player of it. Broken Blade was talking about it earlier this year when he picked the Swain into Cassante. Swain into Cassante, where he was saying, you know, basically, you don't have to be the best Swain player in the world for it to make use in the right spot. Same kind of thing with Teemo and a bunch of other champions like that, where you sit there and think, actually, this breaks the draft. Are you a good enough player to get it to the point where it breaks the draft? That's the question after that point. You don't need to be the best. You just need to like know how to play the laning phase matchup and know the key parts of the champion, you know? It wasn't Reginald when he picked Teemo. It was High, C9's High that picked it into Reginald in Season 3, right? Or was it Season 4 Spring? Think about him in Season 4 Spring, actually.
No, Reginald picked it at Worlds.
I remember Cloud9 picked it into him. Wait, did Reggie play it at Worlds? I actually forgot that. When was that?
Yeah, Season 3 Worlds, last game of the groups when they had nothing to play for.
Oh, okay, right, yeah. Because I remember Cloud9 played it into them and actually beat them with it. Because that was one of the big, like, not ego matches, but you know what I mean, but one of the big kind of, like, what the hell matches from the Cloud9 of that era. God, that Season 3 for Cloud9 was so fun to watch, folks. If you weren't around for that era, Cloud9 was so fun to watch.
Yeah, that was when Meteos farmed, and then farmed some more, and then farmed, and then farmed some more. That was weird because, like, a lot of people don't realize this. The carry on that team wasn't sneaky. it was balls.
Yep.
Balls of the carry.
Sneaky was playing low econ AD carry in a meta where everyone wanted to be Uzi and double lift, so it was very yeah.
Well, it's funny is most people didn't even know who Uzi was, and Uzi, it wasn't even a name at that time. In summer of season 3, nobody knew who Uzi was. The only people knew were Devil because they had just won the LPL. But that's literally Nami, by the way, guys. It was called Devil at the time, and the other person was what's his name? The San, the OMG's ADC.
Yeah, because he went to season 3 Worlds, right?
Yeah, he went. Yeah, but they had the insane run in like the LPL, but what they were like the only people who were like kind of known from China, and like Wei Zhao with all the season 2 heads. The other like crazy one, and like that's a little bit of unknown, like forgotten lore of an older age. Nymaera is at season 3, everyone was scared of Najin.
Yep.
Because, and this is what everyone forgets, is Najin won Winter that year, which is actually part of season 3.
And then people thought they were going to, well, a lot of the Korean crowd were like, oh, they fell off, you know. Are they actually going to be like worth watching at Worlds? But yeah.
Well, this is the thing that like scared everybody was Najin sword in season 3 start had Macnoon on it, and then obviously its expression at Worlds, Macnoon comes off the team. But the reason that everyone was so scared of them is everyone actually thought they were behind the scenes in scrims and stuff. Everyone thought they were the best team. They were like the scrum god team. Like nobody wanted to draw them in the brackets and stuff. Everyone thought them. That's why when one of the biggest like shocks was when Frost beat them in spring.
Yeah, but I thought, yeah, I seem to remember like when they lost in spring and they were looking a little bit more dicey in summer, it's because their mid jungle had to get. Well, because their mid laner from Windsor just couldn't adapt to the rest of the because he was like a Karthus player, right? And as the year went on, it became much less about this kind of mages and much more about assassins because Faker kind of showed everyone how to play them alongside, well, Dade was huge on them at that point.
Yeah.
And how they're going to try to deal with Keen because he's been a tough ass.
And I think that is really hard to do because to me, what Perfect is doing today is really the best of what we could expect from him, right? Yeah. I think that he.
Okay, right into draft 3. KT have. Well, I guess it was. I actually don't know who had side choice, but I think it was Gen.G that had side choice, chose blue side, lost, chose blue side again. So KT is the first side choice and they chose blue in the series.
Okay, so now it's the Azir Crux, because you now don't have the tally.
Orianna or Azir trade maybe, yeah.
So do you trade Ori for Azir? And that takes out 2 packs for each person.
Surprised at the Aurora ban if you're going to be going for that mid lane pick, because Aurora doesn't want to play into either of those champions really.
I'm also really surprised with the Kai'Sa ban because Nico's out. And Nollis. And Yanara. Ooh, so they want to preserve that for later. Okay.
At least a little bit. We'll
Unexpected.
See how it ends up being across the course of 5 games in the series, but KT have definitely shown more soul today than people expected.
This is a big moment. If they don't ban Ori,
if you don't ban Ori Azir, then you're buying into the trade. They banned Trundle, so now, hang on, I think, well, with Wukong down already, you're getting into like, you're actually getting closer to like Neferi or Sejuani territory.
I think you just give the trade. I think you're happy for either.
Yeah, I think BDD Chovy are happy playing either side of that matchup.
Because you're going to get.
I tell you what, if you first pick the Ori, you can actually start looking towards Nocturne Ori as well, especially with you're looking at Nocturne Ori. Braum ban. I think it's first pick Orianna and then you Nocturne later because the AD jungle pool is lower, and Nocturne is harder to play without that choice combo.
Here we go. They're going to take the Azir.
Do they not want to buy into the Nocturne Orianna combo? Okay.
Well, here's the thing. They don't need to pick Orianna right now.
No, you don't. You can pick it on 3. So I think you... What else is up? Pantheon is a big AD skirmisher, but it means that you're not buying into something like the Nocturne Orianna. You could also Akali for Chovy. Akali is sometimes a second side option.
By the way, this could be flex here, by the way. This could be support flex. Oh, don't like that as much. Okay.
That's true. I mean, HLE tried to play it against them, right, with the Sejuani Pantheon.
Yep.
With the AD jungle pool getting slimmer, then yeah, stuff like the Sejuani gets more value. I don't think you want to go... This combo against the Azir feels a bit... Poppy's a very good pick here. And you can just move the Poppy around the map to match wherever the Pantheon goes. You put it into jungle if it goes jungle, you can put it into support if it goes support. Yeah, Poppy's more than fine here.
Good pickup from KT. But now, they're going to pin themselves into a specific draft. So there it is. So now, Gen.G know exactly what their front line is, basically. So Pantheon, if you get a really good backline here, Pantheon doesn't need to go forward. He just needs to defend backline.
And Onivia, both combined with the Poppy to slam people into those wolves.
What's like the best thing? There it is. Yeah, Sivir.
I mean, your front to back is insane. Yeah, I mean, now the problem is a lot of your other frontline champions are going to get removed in second bans here from Gen.G, because I would imagine you're losing. Well, I mean, you don't even like playing Ornn into Cassante because it's a shit matchup for the Ornn. Cassante just bodies that lane. What do you have as Gen.G that can actually hold a front line? Because you have no Alistar. Braum's gone. Your range isn't bad, but...
You just wait. You just wait to see... on the next pick here, you decide if this is going to be a flex or not, depending on what they draft. And you get... I think you give... You just wait with... You wait with for Keen's pick last. The big thing here is going to be the fact that you could probably just go for like a pseudo frontliner, someone who lanes well into Cassante, but is also like tanky enough to resist. Renekton's not ideal. Blitzcrank, okay. Right. Do you ban Thresh? No. You don't mind Thresh that much.
I actually wonder whether KT have such a good frontline now that they could actually look towards Kalista Renata for Dr. Peter, by the way. I think there's actually a world where you can Kalista Renata. I'm just really afraid of a Renata onto it, like a very poor frontline team. They ban the Kalista, yeah.
Yeah, but okay, they're going to get rid of the Kalista. But for me, I'm looking at KT here. I think just snap Aphelios.
Into Orianna, that's kind of risky, no?
Yeah, but like
you might do something like a Lucian Nami here. Oh, that'd be so Kino. That'd be so cool seeing.
Please, Keen, answer my prayers.
Because you can't stand and fight as an Azir into a GPL. Because whenever Azir wants to start stopping and auto attacking, you just drop an ult on his head and he doesn't do DPS.
I've been.
This is actually so big.
Oh,
I actually think the GP would have been so fun. I think teams are afraid to pull out the GP because of stuff like the Dogdam, the Italian swap, where you swap AD carry top lane because you just can't play level 1 versus AD carries.
Yeah, but GP's the man.
I think if you do that, you get Lucianed and you just hate life. In fact, there's still a Lucian angle here for Dogdam. It's a little rough because... Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, like, I think Jinx
Lulu's like pretty good here. I think Jinx Lulu's pretty good. Hyper carry off. But they go Ashe instead?
Good into Aatrox, bad into Pantheon.
Not going the Seraphine though. They're going much more like hyper carry Ashe with
so you get to decide here what you're doing with this Pantheon.
I don't think you ever go Pantheon support. You know, Pantheon Sivir seems like a pretty ass lane. Lulu just bullies you out. I think you just chuck it into jungle, just hope for the best, and then. But then, what do you do in terms of your support? Then I guess you could go hook support.
Yeah, I think Karma. Oh, you need to engage. I prefer KT's draft quite a bit.
I prefer KT's draft by a whole lot. You have an actual front line. You have a hyper carry buff. You have 2 hyper carries buffed up by a Lulu because Lulu can go in with the Azir as well. You have disengage from Cassante W and Poppy ult. Gen.G have had some pretty bad drafts this tournament, folks. I have to say I'm much more of a fan of KT's drafts. I think that this has to be some very good playmaking from Gen.G. You're gonna have to find people out of position. You're gonna have to lane well before that as well. If it comes into an even 5v5, KT smash. They just utterly smash. Perfect kill on Cassante. he has such a good ability alongside Cuz to just disengage the fight. I think this is a KT win angle from this draft. I think their drafting has been very good here.
I think the only thing is like the Ori ball can turn this game a lot, depends on. So Chovy has some power here.
You know, they're just kind of that team that can execute on anything. But it is going to be an exciting one. I really like the risks I think that KT are taking. I think they took a couple good ones. And BDD Azir is something that you can count
Anthony's
on
equal lowest win rate at the moment. Yeah, that's because people have been doing suicidal stuff with it. Like Jarvan. Jarvan's a great counter, but people were thinking it's the best blind in the game.
In the heavens that they talked about earlier today. For Chovy, a final chance to show that on the international stage he can perform just as well as he can domestically.
Ooh.
For KT, the chance to keep the Cinderella story going. Have they found the perfect slipper?
Are they looking for Keen's flash?
Will they be turning into pumpkins? 3 games between them. And what could be a glory in the League of Legends space. For now, both teams just
Okay, right. Sorry, I'm locked in now. It's been, God, tell you what, the month of 6 AM starts has not been good for my sleep schedule.
What we do for the love of the game, eh?
Yeah.
Like we're just going to have a traditional top lane v
Right,
top lane, bot
so
lane v bot lane.
the one good thing about Sivir is
Hey,
she
there's
is not
multiple good things about Sivir. What do you? Okay, one good thing about Sivir. Tell me what the one good thing about Sivir is.
She is not absolutely oppressed by the Ashe push. And you can purposely early on in lane step into
Volleys to
then, yeah.
W, he's the hawk shot.
I think the pick on
WC.
KT is actually great. You know, if you can get a pop, a stun.
Actually, I have rebound on my keys.
Right, yeah. Oh yeah, I remember talking about this before at some point. You have like some cursed keybinds or some shit from Dota.
Yeah.
And I mean, also look at all the priority they put for this level 1. Double
You actually sometimes see Leona start W to just kind of shrug off some damage at level 1 like this, by the way. Yeah, that's the W start. Yeah.
I just don't think that Duro expected
I like how aggressively Peter is playing that.
Zale's actually calling that pretty well there too. I don't think he expected to have both side lane bushes warded there. Like both the middle and the far brush were warded to get the early lane dominance from Peter. Dog Damon actually get some more poke out.
You always have to think about how the exit from the trade is going to be
There
against
is
Lulu
the hot
and
shot.
Ashe, because if you go in there, you get a great initial trade.
Yep, map hacks. Map hacks.
Slowed up. It's very difficult, and you can take so much damage.
Oh,
on the
BDD
way
didn't have
out.
his
So
soldier
start
lines
down on that
properly.
2v2. You talked about how it was going to be critical for them.
I have to say, you know, a couple of years ago, we were talking about, because this conversation came up because people were shitting on Knight's Azir again, which there's caveats to that. But the reason this came out, it was them was like, oh, but you know, Knight can't play Azir, and that makes him a bad player. And then you just question like, well, you know, Chovy couldn't play Orianna for a very long time. He just wasn't a good Orianna player, despite how good he was in all the other majors. He just was not a top tier Orianna player. Compared to
literally can't play Syndra.
That's true. His Syndra was not good compared to, you know, Faker,
it's not
Xiaohu, Knight, you name it.
He's only played 2 games of Syndra ever.
That is insane, given how Syndra used to be synonymous with mid lane.
Exactly.
Faker didn't play as it. It wasn't UCal Regester. It was Easyhoon.
For them to invade with Cuz around the level 3, Cuz skips his red,
yeah.
and you invade towards the blue. You can see
but that being said, I also think the Faker can't play Azir thing as well. That has also been overblown. It's a great storyline. Realistically, he couldn't play it for like 1 split. There was 1 split where like he was fine on Azir, whereas Easyhoon was the best Azir in the world. So
Easyhoon was also, people also get it wrong, Easyhoon was also better on like
Cassiopeia.
Zera.
The 2 which they really played for was Cassiopeia Azir. And yes, he was a much better Zig Zareth player. I think across the history of the champions, I think that actually Faker's worst pick wasn't something like Azir in that first split or whatever. I just think it was Zareth. Faker's Zareth was just not good. And that was that was so alien because that was when he was prime Faker, you know, like best in the world by far on almost every champion he played. And then the Zareth was just not good. And it wasn't even just like mediocre, it was just not good.
I think the weirdest one I've ever seen that Faker not be good at was Rise. Not Rise, Vladimir. That one still makes no sense.
Yeah, although there were some funny games which are getting taken out of context because people just run at him 5-man mid to first blood him. That was the thing which happened in Season 5 Worlds and shit. It was like, well, okay, cool, I guess we got first blood on Faker.
surprise is not that BDD is playing well.
BDD,
We expect
what do you
BDD
call it?
to play well. He's probably one of the top 2-3 mid laners so far at this World Championship and has been consistently top of the
Very
table
early
his entire
appearance
career.
for
Duro
here.
Yeah. No,
this-
typically you only see this kind of roam when we get the Taeyun swap, when you get level 2 support runs. That's typically when you see it more.
Well, I would not. This Gen.G very rarely do this for Chove. Very strange.
Oh, I just kept going. There's no curses. He's okay. It's LCK. You don't believe in curses? There are no curses.
Okay.
Well, I don't. I have had many a disagreement with.
Wow, wait, has Dialkdam missed that much CS getting pushed?
No. That's only very specific. I also feel like I can't do that. You know, he has to do that.
By the way, and they are keeping this Poppy away from Keen. Keen is getting some lovely alone
Yeah,
time.
I have to say, I think that a lot of people don't like view Keen as highly as I think they should do, because he's not necessarily the guy making all the blowout leads all the time and carrying in the way that, say, you know, Bin does when he's at peak, or Zeus or whatever. But like, Keen getting like a 10 CS lead in a play here, this can actually be game changing. I know that Perfect had a good game 1. I think Perfect's played much better at Worlds than I thought he would do. But Keen could genuinely be a game ending threat if he gets slightly further ahead than this. Because what you see is that if you ever get into range of the Enchanter AD carry, and you just get to spam Q on them and not press E because you're in range already, then there's nothing that Cuz can do to save you there. Cuz can do a little bit, but there's nothing he can do to properly save you. If Keen actually gets a sizable lead here, then the Aatrox can actually be a game changer. As long as it doesn't get to 3 items, then the Azir just kind of one-shots you, and that's not great.
And remember, people, it's really hard to itemize against Aatrox's trade patterns as Cassante. Because, yes, you want to go for armor traditionally, but even if he hits his critical Q points, he resets his passive, which is still magic damage.
It changed. I think they changed his W back to physical. That's one thing they did. So his chains back are now physical, which means it is better to itemize.
Yeah, they don't want Aatrox to buy in lethality all the time, so they took away his like scaling with those items. But the problem, and I always laugh about this, it changed the Camille matchup as well, which is hilarious. We're not getting to that.
Okay, so first dragon for KT is pretty nice, because I think if KT reached 3 items, I think they de facto win the game. I don't think that it's... I mean, Gen.G might just Gen.G things and just play out of their minds, but given how they're playing today, I think if KT reached 3 items, I don't think Gen.G's team comp can fight at that point. So they do need to get early objectives, early fights, gold lead. KT getting an early dragon to buy themselves a bit of scaling time helps a lot.
So, did Chove get chunked, or did he just back?
I didn't see.
Because he's backed on weird items.
Tell you what, one of the downsides of streaming on 3 different places is that, because I have to check 3 different chats, I'm not checking the minimap between talking nearly as much as I would do if I'm just watching casually.
Okay, so Gen.G are going to play early for this. A little bit scary. Is Cuz 6? He is. Oof.
You don't have support 6s. That's huge. Now, this is something which Down 1 would used to do. Barrel used to do this back in 21. Delight used to do it a lot this year too. Where you just cheat a load of XP off of midwave to get level 6 for this fight. This is a huge fight, folks. Dio gets the stun onto the Azir. Pantheon's in. Poppy W does nothing. Poppy W does nothing. Oh! Ruler! What the fuck is Ruler doing there? What is Ruler doing there? Hang on, Keen's here. Keen's back again after the getting punted out. Perfect's gone way too far forwards. That's flash blown. Jesus, that was a messy fight.
Chove's ball got solo flashed by Lulu.
Yeah, that was not a good shockwave. It was fine. I guess maybe if you're looking for the single flash, sure, and just 1 kill and out. I have no idea. I mean, did Ruler just get shunted over?
Oh. No, too much speed.
Yeah. Second, so you get 2 grubs to 1 for Gen.G, because you gets you a knock on the beats the strength marker. How did no one die there? I am asking the same question. Because no one's got items yet, basically.
Grubs, 2 of them will go, but that's still a trade that I think KT is happy with. They're able
What?
to
That was
get themselves
crazy.
one of the Grubs denied
But
free, and they
now,
were the ones who got the early dragon. They did
Bot lane
have to
wasn't as
pay
nice for a
fairly
ruler.
heavily,
Jotdam's going to pick up
when
a
it comes
big
to
one.
summoners.
I'm not sure I agree with Chronicler saying that KT are happy with that trade. I think they should have gotten a lot more out of that play. Considering that Cuz didn't get value out of the Poppy W in an early fight, and how the Shockwave didn't get value as well, I think that fight, I don't know, I think that fight could have gone a lot better for KT. Oh, it's Demolish from Aatrox. Yeah, there's nothing which Cassante can do to stop the Demolish proc from Aatrox besides occasionally Wing the minion outside, the minion wave outside of turret range.
And he knows Perfect doesn't have ult, which is the other problem.
Yeah.
The advantage for KT. They've constantly had the push
Ooh,
into Enduro, who
okay.
survived it well.
I just had to look mid lane. BDD must have dropped a wave to make that be on the objective with his team. That didn't come out of nowhere.
I get really worried for the value that Pantheon's going to bring later. I don't know if Pantheon's going to bring value. There's a chance he can side lane it to whatever, but I don't trust Canyon on Pantheon nearly as much as say like Tarzan.
Oriball plus. Okay, here's a shuffle. Nice.
He can get phase rush, so it's no flash out of him though. Chovy's okay with that phase rushing out.
So you can just Oriball Pantheon ult onto Azir, and it's pretty scary.
Yeah, but into Lulu, Poppy,
and side lanes. Like once Azir moves into side lanes.
But my problem is, don't you just strong side the Azir because the Cassante will just be happy on his own anyway on the whole.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, good night, Blade.
Like that's adaptation. You know what I mean? You've got to make it. You've got to be able to analyze it on the fly and make it on the fly.
Once we actually get to the dragon spawns in about a minute, and that's going to be a big.
What's really concerning for me is
it does make so much of the follow macro easier. You can give up a dragon, get a herald,
just
start
how much
and I think
value
really
are they going to get from all these lanes? Like, I really do think KT's comp comes together rather nicely.
It does, but they need to get the items. They need to get to them at some point. I think the onus is on Gen.G to make plays. On the whole.
Then getting the early Drake gives them. It's really big.
Yes, that's huge.
There is the ability for Keen and Canyon to run you down to take you
well, Keen's not ahead in terms of CS, but he's gotten plates, so he's a little bit ahead from that. Chovy's got a bit of a CS lead. That's just all him, basically. That's fine too. Canyon spotted with his ult up. As long as they can keep eyes on the Pantheon, it's much harder for him to get an unexpected ult angle.
Ooh.
Apart from Perfect, actually.
Being rewarded. Also, I do want to shout out because we were giving Chovy some criticism early on in his early laning phase.
If they get a second one.
Wait, they were criticizing Chovy for early lane? I don't agree with that.
Oh, there's a flash.
Oh dear, Chovy.
He tried to flash it, and he's dead. Well done, BDD.
Nice, BDD. Poppy and not Poppy and Ev, Poppy is it. Fucking powerful. And now KT get the second dragon. Folks, this is a big KT winning angle. They can just not fight the next 2 dragons if they want to after this. And they can get to like 3 items. This is huge for KT. Okay. They wasted the Pantheon passive. That's a wall stun waiting. Ooh, damn.
Just that summoner as their price for the chase.
Good pick from BDD.
I actually think Chovy should have like very early flashed there, you know.
This is iconic Canyon. This is iconic Canyon.
He doesn't have empowered ability, but doesn't matter. There's flash onto him. Okay. So that's actually now an ult target for Chovy. Chovy can get his way back into the game by getting a good shockwave onto someone like Peter. This is one of the things about this comp is that if you do kill the Lulu before they get value, then the teamfight looks a lot worse for KT. Lulu, this is why Lulu hasn't always been meta, right? If you get like solo kill? BDD, I mean, this guy's just goated, no?
Yep,
fucking hell, BDD, what's happening? Wait, can we get a replay of that shit? What the hell's happening to Chovy, man? Oh my god.
Did Chovy misplace his ball?
I don't know, man. He didn't use shockwave at all. What happened here? So he misplaces a Q there. QW. And then He just walks into...
Oh, he walks into soldiers.
He just... Chovy, what is that?
That's a
no, that is... Now, there are things which are forgivable, and things which, you know, there are reasons for them. There is no reason to do that. That is just a huge... That's just a huge negative play from Chovy. I don't see the logic behind it. One of the things about Azir, which... I mean, Chovy is one of the best Azir players of all time. You just never let him stack up lethal tempo and keep it for the second part of the trade. Dude, I mean, that's a shocker from Chovy. You just hang on. If they get him again, he still doesn't have flash. Oh my god. Oh, there we go. Okay, good shockwave from Chovy. Gets one back, but then he's still losing half a wave, you know.
Yeah, they're doing a good job. They're doing a good job throwing their lot versus him.
That being said, good counter kill from Chovy. If he doesn't get that, he's so fucking out of the game, you know. And remember what we were saying. Gen.G need the gold lead. They need to stop KT from getting the 3 items realistically. Holy moly, Gen.G, I not again, surely. Cuz doesn't have ult this time, so they can't disengage. No mages on either side. Good Captain Jack. Canyon doesn't have to worry about Pantheon Poppy W anymore. Lockdown's fucking gliding. Oh my god, guys, we actually might... we might find ourselves in a world with the Telecom War Finals. We actually might see ourselves... This is actually the Telecom War Finals timeline. Holy fuck.
It's just not the way we expected it.
I can't believe this, man.
Aatrox just got 1v1 by the Cassandra.
Which is fucking insane, by the way. Like, why are you picking this champion if you're losing the 1v1s, you know? Lockdown just glided on them as well. I can't believe this, man. Gen.G... This Gen.G... Extra gold for BDD. Oh my god, this is just game over.
Yep, game's unplayed. Like KT, the Gen.G draft continues to plague them. This is just a really bad draft.
The draft was yeah. Sometimes you let a team get away with a draft because they're so good they can play a certain style. This isn't even Gen.G's chosen style. You know, this isn't picking towards their strengths because they're really good at XYZ. No, this is a very difficult draft to play and one which I don't think they're that comfortable. Wow, he even flashes and dies to that anyway. Keen, my dude, that's not it.
When you're on the back foot, you need to be stepping forward into them. A great fight for KT.
I think we're getting a Telecom War Finals, folks. I think Gen.G's drafts have been fucking awful. I think that Chovy this game has made a lot of bad misplays. I say a lot of them, but he's made like one or two important bad misplays.
Well, here's the thing, and this is a big problem right now. Is now Perfect's taken away Keen Cassandra.
Yeah, true. And Keen was winning the early lane by getting, you know, good farm and then getting the plates in. That gold lead is now gone. Chovy's going for the hyper-aggressive Orianna build. He's kind of dropped the Aurora build this time. He's going for this tournament. He's been going for the Blackfire. Ruler had flash, didn't flash out of the wall stun. I guess the spell shield was off, but... Dude, Cuz is having a great series too.
People like Cuz are just amazing at Worlds because they just put so much pressure on you.
Yeah.
If you you don't play unbelievably crash, they just take more and more and more every single time.
Yeah.
And Cuz and BDD, I'm remiss to say it, but it's starting to feel
it's going to be 2-1
series
KT.
where they are just playing out of their minds in this one.
I mean, they probably should start banning mid lane.
From Cuz and BDD. It took some uncharacteristic mistakes from Chovy as well.
Yeah, Gen.G, they look really rattled. They look really rattled. They're not approaching fights with the same poison posture which they normally would do. They're cutting corners, you know. They're cutting corners.
It's so weird that, like, at semi-finals, it happens to, like, it's like there's a mental block with this, like, team. Specifically
Hang on, this is a big pick. He has flash, but no cleanse. Okay, who did they give it to? Chovy? Okay, so that's 500 extra gold to him. Okay, great ward. Does that... I mean, there's no objectives up, so it's gold and it's 2 ultimates used for that. That's fine. That's a good pick.
The problem is like... The top side is just so unkillable.
And the funniest thing about this, folks, so as soon as we saw the bracket drawn, Kira actually made a very salient comment, which was effectively, look, T1 have such a good angle for winning worlds in that bracket because all they have to do is make it through LPL teams, which they have an incredible stylistic advantage against. And then all you need to do on the other parts of it is hope for KT to upset Gen.G, which are your kind of kryptonite this year, or you upset them in finals anyway because you're at Worlds. So if KT end up kind of tripping up Gen.G for them, like T1 are fucking balling with that.
Eyes on the prize. It's all about objectives in this game. The one thing KT needs to avoid at all costs is either Dokdom or BDD getting caught, but this is where I think the composition really does favor them.
It's why the T1 23 run is like so crazy, because they played into all like the
best teams,
all the LPL, the best teams. But in 24, I think they really dodged. They've dodged HLE, who's like quite problematic for them twice.
Yep. Because actually, last year had the best jungle support in the world, and the thing about them is that HLE ran into just a bad top lane matchup for them, because Doran can occasionally just lose you a big best of 5 because his individual laning is not good enough.
Well, it's just specifically into Ben. It's literally just Doran Ben's like no one.
Yeah, I mean, I think it can happen into the Shy as well, right? Or someone like that. I think actually there is a world where it can even happen into 369 on a good enough series.
Ben's level came down so much this year that it just wasn't ever a factor.
Yeah. I mean, Flandre almost, well, even Flandre, who is kind of, I'm not gonna lie, Flandre's kind of like the LPL Doran anyway, in terms of this guy has to hide his poor laning through some. This is great for Kenyon. If you can flash onto him here before BDD reacts, that's insane. He uses Q, so he doesn't have his Q out. I don't know, his damage wasn't in place. Oh, that's a big miss. That's a big miss. Because that would have been free Atacon if they got that. That would have been free Atacon. Now Canyon can actually maybe threaten an ult play, because there's no Azir ult to help with the divide. Help with the disengage.
Before you're actually stronger as well. There's 2 items
so he's sitting on a ward though, so it's terrifying. Okay, he's going to see drop down Peter.
Your gold lead hasn't actuated into actual items yet. It hasn't become that strong, so you can just wait it out. You're already 4K ahead. Just take it slow.
Well, they are not
okay,
going to do
the
that.
start of that, I think you let KT just like shred himself on the objective, pop it.
Yeah, and then you open up an extra angle of attack with Sivir getting into position, and then Pantheon ulting at the same time as the Leona ult, so KT have to kind of hot-foot it out of different angles.
It's a little bit scary in the top side, because
kind of inadvertently set up Ruler in a position to carry, right? Gave over the early shutdown.
Oh, you gotta flash that, Chovy. Chovy, my dear. I mean, I guess he gets to say flash now, but
nice pick from KT.
That's a very good pick. Great ult.
Yep,
okay, does it actually lead to Atacon? 30 seconds, that's Atacon.
And the thing is he's just sitting. They're just what you call perfect. It's just sitting because he now has the side lane pressure over Kane.
I'm not gonna lie, folks. I mean, I don't buy into the like Chovy choking narratives and stuff. I think last year it wasn't because of him either. If they lose this series off of plays like that, Chovy's under the microscope here. This is a fucking bad game from him.
Yeah, Chovy's having a mare.
Yeah, like
it's a hard game to play, but he's not flashing there. They would call it not flashing the 0. Not,
yeah. Like, I don't buy into the chokey narrative and stuff like that. I don't, because I don't think that's true. However, like this game, this one is. You know, this one is individual misplays from him. You know.
They have more than 1,000 gold lead in 3 of their lanes. And they have Gen.G on the ropes.
So that's gone from 10 petals to 20 for KT, plus the extra 25% bonus. Some extra gold for Keen, but you have to fight for Soul here too, because, I mean, Chemtech makes it much harder to deal with someone like Cho. Because the thing about Cassante, as soon as you ult as Cassante, you get the extra bonus damage and damage reduction. Gen.G are slow to this objective again.
Oh, no way.
Do they have E? Okay, misses, but it hits Chovy. Hang on, BDD's got a massive angle here, no?
Need to be set.
Fucking hell. Redemption. Gen.G are slow to the objective again, man. That's actually a really fun Azir soldier auto-hitting the blast gun to get Dura out of position. Keen has to ult and then... I don't know, man. He gets straight up with a poppy ult. Soul down. Awesome from BDD. Wall stun in. Shockwave's not bad, but they don't have the damage yet. Ruler doesn't have the damage to carry.
And Chovy's been clipped by Azir soldiers.
Yeah, so the Realize is proccing. Canyon maybe. I don't know. I don't think they have the damage, no? Oh my god, we're actually going to get a Telecom War Finals, folks. Holy shit.
There's still plenty of series to go.
I don't know, man. I think Gen.G are gonna get mentally just destroyed from this. Personally, I don't think they would do regionally, but I think here, just I don't know, man. That's the problem with the Pantheon ult into Poppy. You just mark the landing spot, hit him with something.
Because the timing was perfect. Canyon ults in, immediately knocked out. And then BDD on the side catching Keen, knocking him into the stun of Cuz.
Toby hits a massive shockwave. Again, I like hit like a 4-man or something.
They're playing with no reservations, with no fear.
Thanks for the cheer there, Everest. KT investment, yeah. Thanks for the 100 bits, appreciate you. Oh my god. But put it this way, Gen.G are not the team to retake the objective. They are not playing the style of League of Legends which makes them strong, which is getting to the objective first and then playing around the area to know. KT are doing that. Okay, yeah, Sam, KT are doing it. Gen.G are not playing the style which makes them strong, and I think that KT are punishing them for it incredibly well. I think that Cuz is having an excellent series. I think BDD is having an excellent series. I think fucking Docdam has been popping off.
And is it really going to be this roster that does it with Peter?
Oh my god.
Has been subbed out earlier this year, but we're going back.
Well, that's a win probability graph. That's about as close to 100% as you can fucking get. Jesus Christ.
Where they were able to get crazy wins, a perfect that has been so often criticized.
These
yeah, I mean, Cousin BDD, we've known you were good. You've been good for a very long time. I really
we had a lot of questions around this Pantheon. It hasn't looked good.
Yeah, I didn't think the Pantheon was a good option anyway there, honestly.
Again,
I think I would have much preferred seeing something like the Nocturne Orianna.
I think in the context of this game,
also thought that there was a chance you can go towards the Gangplank instead of the Aatrox. They hovered it. I think that would have been way better. That's good. That's okay. Hang on. BDD still has. No, he has no flash. Oh my god, there's just no damage. Shobi just doesn't have damage, man.
Yeah, because they don't get on top of BDD, so don't kill him.
He actually might die there anyway. Oh, he burns out.
Yes.
Holy shit. If KT fucking do it, man. KT have been the butt of every bad joke in League for like over a decade. You know, KT Rolster, despite, you know, KT Rolster are the only team to have won a summer split and never make Worlds, 2014 summer. They were probably the second best team in Korea after SKT in 2013 as well. Didn't make it to Worlds, lost through the regional bracket because they lost to SKT again, and then they lost to Naja Blacksword. They've been out in quarterfinals every other time they've gone to Worlds. In 2015, 2018, in 2023. This team is absolutely fucking cursed. And if they were to finally make a World Finals and meet SKT there, that would probably... Look, I have to say, folks, a lot of the like T1 SKT storylines have been kind of done to death now at this point. Thank you so much for the gift subs there, Pinterest. Thanks for the 10 gift bomb. A lot of those stories have been done to death. But if it was a Telecom War World Finals, that shit bangs. That is so cool.
To say on this note, like if you actually just watch LCK, and like KT have actually been the best team at evaluating how to beat like Gen.G all year. They just didn't always have like the player capability, like to do it. Like I do not understand.
They're very self-aware. KT are actually a very self-aware team. They understand what they can and can't do and what their winning angles are.
Will shepherd in the next wave. The inhibitor falls for KT, and now they move across towards mid.
Holy shit, man.
Gen.G has to decide when will they make their final stand.
But like, how? Yeah, I don't know, man. Gen.G, how many years is this gonna happen to them? Where they just kind of lose their way in important series, their drafts kind of go off the window, their individual player form takes a knock under the bright lights. Just shuffle out. Oh, Jesus Christ. Great pop, yo. They just don't have damage. Oh, Medic's voice is going, man.
The T1 were in the exact same position last game.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, and now we see mental fortitude for Gen.G front and center now.
As he is one game away from making the World Finals.
Analysts, let us know what you got.
What do we got? I mean, Dr. said I'm going to avenge Peanut's tears. Will it actually happen? I don't know, but this, my gents and ladies,
I think a lot of people are kind of calling it, but I think Gen.G are going to get a blue side draft. There's a lot of picks taken out here.
Lore, welcome to the desk. Thank you for
And
I cannot believe what is going on.
I don't get the telecom wars. What's the big deal about it? So the telecom war is SK Telecom versus KT Rolster, because KT and SKT are two rival telecom companies within Korea. And they were the two of the earliest adopters of kind of sponsoring esports teams back in StarCraft, well, all of the early esports teams within Korea. So particularly in StarCraft Pro League, the SKT versus KT rivalry started getting known as the Telecom War because they're two rival telecom companies. And then that transferred very, very, very well into League of Legends. You know, in 2013, when both of the teams were, you know, very, very good, we had a bunch of very important 5-game series. Arguably one of the greatest best of 5s of all time was 2013 Summer Finals, which was the Z versus Z outplay, the Faker versus Ryu. That's continued to be absolutely insane. We had some great ones in Season 5. There was a reverse sweep, I think, of KT versus SKT back in 2016 as well, which denied... that actually denied SKT the Golden Road in 2016, because they lost 2016 Summer in the round before finals to KT, and then KT ended up losing to Rox Tigers in the finals of 2016 Summer.
So another little if you want to know a little bit like historical note about it is, so so the original great SKT player in StarCraft 1, like this is a quick way of telling it because there's more details, but basically the original great Brood War player was obviously Boxer. Boxer played for T1. His rival for all those years was a guy called Yellow. Yellow would eventually go on to play for like KT, but at the very, very end, he played for loads of different stuff. But like KT didn't actually have like that specific name, but he played for KT. And then the player after, what do you call it? The player after Nada, he played for KT. So the next Bonjour was Nada.
Oh, Bonjour is like a Korean term for basically like the unparalleled greatest player of the era. Where,
yeah, for a period of time, you stand above everybody else. You're not just like the best. You're not just the best player. You are like the undisputed. Like there is no one near you. So then it gets funny because then the next player is after that is I Love Uv. So I Love Uv is the next player, and he plays for ding ding ding. T1.
So basically, both of these orgs ended up trading just awesome players who were above their era, and yeah, basically it meant that you had these two rival companies in actually outside of esports becoming rival companies within esports across multiple games at the highest level of play, like over years and years, and now that rivalry has spanned, you know, over a decade.
And then Brood War, it was KT that ended up with their Faker. KT ended up with Flash.
So yes, that is why, and then the Telecom War is one of the most played matchups in League history as well. I actually think Gen.G as T1 and Gen.G SKT, that has now been played more now if you include Samsung and SKT.
Probably.
But KT SKT is one of the most played matchups of all time. Okay, I gotta go to the toilet real quick, and I think there's some food outside as well. I'm gonna go quickly get that, but holy crap. I don't know, man. Gen.G got to shape up their drafts. I think Trevi's playing not great, but I also don't think it's all on him. I think that just the draft and the way that they're playing around objectives has just not been good enough. All right, right back.
Some of the reasons that we have so many predictions that go for Gen.G. Those are so many of the reasons, though, that as we brought up in the pre-show lore, that we have given them before in 2023, in 2024, as you already brought up. And KT, how do you think they move from this position?
don't want to say too much, but they're in a really good position right now. It's up and we'll go. That's what Peter said at the beginning of the tournament. And I had an interview with him actually for the French broadcast right after he qualified for the semifinals. And he told me 3-0, 3-1 for us. We're coming for Gen.G. We did it once. We're going to do it convincingly this time around. And so far, he is delivering.
I'm convinced. I don't know about you guys, but I am convinced already.
Oh my gosh. I mean, the big thing I want to highlight is that it's this roster, right? Like, we talk about how well Dokdam's been playing. Paddock came in during Split 2. We talk about how well Peter's been doing. Wei came back in after starting Split 1 in Split 3. Like, the fact that it's this kind of ragtag team around the strength of BDD and Cuz, and now they're a match point against Gen.G in the World's Semifinals. How is that even real?
Emily, it's a revenge 8 years in the making, right? If we think back to that World Championship in China, where it didn't go the best for them. Like, tell me about BDD and Cuz, and tell me if they are the ones you trust in for bringing this series home.
I mean, on their roster,
return people.
I think it is these two that you look at, right? Like, they both just had a phenomenal game. It was these two that pulled out Herculean performances in that initial Gen.G setup, upset in the upper bracket. So yeah, we'll see.
It's crazy. They don't.
There's nothing free in this world, people. Yeah. Mental fortitude is part of being a world champion.
I'm on notice, I know, but they're doing phenomenally. KT can do the unthinkable and make it to the World's 2025 Grand Final in this next game. But Chovy, he needs to rip himself out of that nightmare he's living again.
Goal.
Ball in from Canyon, looks for the steal, but immediately he's yeeted. The keeper's verdict finds him guilty, and Emperor's Divide knocks the world ender into the middle. The shockwave finds KT, but Duro dives in, and the rest of Gen.G just can't follow him. KT claim the soul, they claim the kills, and they claim Gen.G's lives.
KT is just running through the fight. Chovy's in trouble. BD's going.
Righty.
He can still chase him in. He's the only one left alive. Chovy stands alone as KT clean up the fight.
And that is a 5-for-1.
Remember, people, Rock's Tigers were in the exact same position. Over T1. T1 won game 4. T1 won game 4 and 5.
Okay, I'm back and I got bread. Medic's voice is getting a bit. Yeah, I think Medic's really pushing his voice. The problem is, once you feel like kind of like that rough edge in your voice, it's really hard to bring it back in the heat at the moment.
So, T1 were down 2-1 versus Rocks and won it. They were down 2-1 versus AL yesterday and won it. You know what I mean? You've got to... Being a world champion is coming back from adversity. You know what I mean? Like, T1 beat BLG from 2-1. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing free in this world. Like,
I think, yeah, the correct mindset is, this is your opportunity to show that you deserve this. Like... I don't think I don't think many teams have come in as overdog to a world championship and clean swept through it. I mean, 2015 SKT did, right? And they never really faced that adversity because they're just so much better. In that way, I actually think the 2016 Worlds from SKT was way more impressive on that level when they were they had to come back from that series and went 5 games in finals as well. They're more impressive in competition. And of course DRX as well, being like, what the fuck? I mean, I suppose that one's a little bit weird because they had no expectations on them at all and they still did it. That was kind of crazy.
But for me, the really important thing here is KT, fundamentally, if you return to your roots, play your style, you'll win. KT have this in their hands. Like, they just need to stop having a world identity crisis on live.
I can't see Top East was beating T1. I mean, I can see the golden road, but it would have to be like that. It has to be like that golden path, right? Like the way that Top Esports can beat T1 is by 369 kind of really controlling Doran in lane, getting a big individual advantage and then transferring that into team fights, and Kanavi having... Okay, so there's a lot of things you have to go right. Winning 2v2, because Jackie and Hung really play for Pyro there. Problem is against Gumacaria, which is obviously very, very good at that themselves. That gives a platform to Kanavi to get an individual lead. Suddenly you've shut down Carrier and Owner, and that means that the jungle support of T1 struggle to make the big plays. Doran getting bodied by 369 in lane could happen. 369 has been a good laner in the past, and I think Doran is not great on an individual level on that right now. Samson White only lost 2 games in 2014, but I think rarely the favorites don't lose any games. Arguably, Samson White weren't favorites for that because Samsung Blue were favored more, I suppose, heading towards... Well, okay, that was a bit of a muchness, but I don't think they were like... Because Samsung White and Blue were so kind of high level, both of them, I don't think that Samsung White were out and out favorites. Despite a lot of people still favoring them because their aggressive playstyle was very fun to watch. Samsung Blue were a much better late game team if it ever came to that. Stop just on Nymaera, I'm hungry. What? So am I. So I got bread.
Oh. Gen.G will most likely play a pick comp here. So this is where they'll probably play something like...
Yo, hang on. So, LoL Esports is running a best plays at Worlds ever thing, and Praise Ash Arrow lost to Faker's Ear shuffle. I'm like, it's a great shuffle, but Praise Ash Arrow is that's got to be the greatest play in all Worlds history. Like, holy fuck. The cross... I don't know. That's my favorite Worlds play ever.
Cross map Ash Arrow?
It's really fucking good.
I think Azir's... Because it's a static TP target. I think Azir shuffles better.
He casts the arrow before he starts teleporting, though.
Oh, does he?
Yeah. He predicts the teleport to either stop the recall or the teleport. And he wins the game off of it in the greatest series of all time, SKT Rocks.
Trying to think like what's like the greatest Worlds moments in my head.
Oh, well, I can tell you what the bracket is. So the bracket was, so first round it was Faker's Azir shuffle versus his Shockwave will find them all. Bin's Pentakill versus Cap's Stolen Silas Arrow in what was it, 20? Is that 19 or 21? Praise Ash Arrow versus the Origin Wombo combo back in season 5. Levi's Nexus defense against Top Esports, and then there's the Shy Aatrox with the flash thing. Uzi's Vayne flank versus Gumi's Blind Baron Steel. Double Gallios versus Huni's Quadra Kill. Ruler's Flash Varus Arrow versus Ball's Pentakill, which I actually think is super overrated, by the way. And then Tien's Lee Sin Double Kill versus DRX's Last Stand. And then, as it stands, we go down to our final 4. Azir's final shuffle, Faker's shuffle versus the Ash Arrow. Faker's Azir just won that. And Uzi's Vayne flank actually beat out the... Oh, that's a pretty easy side of the bracket, though. Kind of surprised that the Double Gallows didn't get in. That was so iconic. And then the DRX's Last Stand is the other one on the other side of the bracket. Anyway, we're into draft for game 4. Gen.G back on blue side.
There really is a repeat of when the upset came through.
Yeah, they look rather composed.
And that was, I think, a series where there was, you know, a little bit more at play. It was the LCK playoffs. Gen.G was the one that ended up picking KT, obviously, which
good bands from Gen.G.
One of the funniest facts of all time. But it's also a Gen.G that a couple of days ago against Hanwha showed us.
So what are we falling down to in the key roles? Support's thin on the ground. This might be a Lucian Braum angle. If you can get Lucian Braum with both up, that's kind of insane. In fact, actually, I think Gen.G are going to go for kill lane bot lane with something like a Braum. Wow, Zoe ban versus BDD? First round?
I think it's good. I think it's a good ban.
No, it means you want to pick like a static mid-range mage, right?
That's what I just said. Gen.G is going to want to play a pick comp here, so they're taking out.
Okay.
They're going to take out Zags. They're going to take out Zoe, and they're going to try and beat out with range here. I'm like almost certain Gen.G is going to try and play a range pick comp here. They're going to look for a ruler Jhin angle and play because there's not a lot like. So I'll go for here's Skarner.
I mean, Trundle's gone, so what do we... I mean, Wukong's gone as well. That's been banned the whole series. So what do you have? I guess you can Sejuani. You can Mundo, I guess, but...
Goes for the early tank. A lot of them already taken off the boards. You see the
You also could go AP farming jungler, which disengages the Skarner pretty well at points, but no one wants to do that.
If I'm
Especially with the
KT,
Yone.
if I'm KT, I start thinking instantly. Whatever I pick here, okay.
There's the Mundo. Does very well into other tank junglers.
Mundo jungle is really
Yep,
strong
the
into
cleaver.
other tank junglers because you need to hit both parts of your CC to actually deal with the canister, right? It's similar to the idea of bringing it out against Sejuani. It can be very
But there's got a lot of agency again.
I think Renekton's raising in prior now. We actually might get a Gnar Renekton kind of angle.
Oh, don't like that.
If you do that, don't you just get Lucian Braum now?
Okay, if this isn't Lucian Braum from...
I think you slam Lucian Braum here, no?
Even if it's like an enchanter with the Kalista Soraka, no.
It's understandable because
I just think you slam Lucian Braum now.
You have to.
Yeah, slam Lucian Braum. You're mobile enough to get away from the Mundo. Yeah, easy locks. And then you have to lock Renata here, otherwise the Kalista's useless. That one's kind of a given, I think.
Yeah, so you've got Renata, Mundo,
Okay.
Renata.
Why Kalista? I don't know. The Kalista I don't like at all. And the Kalista is... That's a miss for me.
That's so early. KT's...
makes so much sense here. And a lot of pressure on
Don't
Ruler
like that at
already.
all.
I mean, these are that Gen.G style of play where you don't always have
So-
the most damage from your other members. Of course, they still could draft a
Your problem is you have some scary options here now for Gen.G for Keen.
always depending on him to really show up in these big moments, and that's something he's done throughout his entire career.
Something he always does on this Lucian as well.
Wei?
The Hui, so the Hui is there because the Zoe ban. Zoe's really good into Hui in mid game. Early lane, Hui beats Zoe, and then as soon as you get multiple ranks in kind of bubble, Hui just hates that matchup.
KT don't have a huge amount of dashes. The Spiraling Despair, if it goes on
You don't have a global champion in mid. Oh, you'd love to have a pushing roam bot champion for BDD, but you don't have. I mean, it might be a Silas angle, you know. This actually might be a Silas angle. I don't love it because you're into Braum. I don't know. You need something that pushes and goes bot lane for KT. You need something to flip the table on it.
Gen.G have a Silas angle as well, though.
They actually have a better Silas angle because Silas doesn't like playing into Braum or Skarner's okay. I think Keen's happy going something like, oh, hang on, you can't pick Ornn as KT either because it's a Braum, whereas Keen can. I think KT might need to. Oh god, I think KT have fucked it, guys. I think they might need a Renekton on 4, but that sucks later into the game. Don't you just need to? Maybe you have to play for huge winning lanes, early snowball, but that's not how KT been winning the game.
The victor is that an Akali counterpick is something that if you're performing well can work wonders, but
yeah, someone saying Ornn Mordecai is a trade actually might work.
There's
Renekton ban. So you're not going to get winning top de facto with that now. Cassiopeia blind? Okay, it's not bad into the Lucian actually.
It is absolutely risky. I mean,
but you can Victor for Chovy.
Generally speaking, Cassio struggles into range, right? So now there is that possibility of Chovy just goes Victor, and I feel
you can
have
Victor.
the advantage in that lane in the 1v1.
And then top lane you have to blind pick. What would you blind pick there?
With the lasers here.
Honestly, not bad. Yorick smashes Mundo at a certain point.
There is.
Yeah, the scary thing here is the denial, the terrain denial. Right, okay. Gen.G have a very grindy comp right now. Short range.
I have to say, the Yorick cage goes super hard in this game. Because Mundo and Cass really hate that. That's pretty big, but it's pretty bad into the Kalista. Great into the Mundo, because he can't cross the wall. I don't like it into the... Chovy and Onivia. I can't remember the last time I've seen him play this. Or ever, actually. Do you know if he's ever played it?
I think he's played it once.
Okay. I think Shogath is really bad here, because it's another thing which can't get out of the cage, and Lucian Braum loves... Jax is better. You have to go the Jax. The Jax is not a bad matchup here. And it gives you another way to not get trapped into the cage / Onivia wall. Oh, Skarner and Onivia also really strong too, so you get to Ornn. Ornn hates playing into the Braum, but it's good into the immobile Onivia later. But then the Yorick smashes the Ornn eventually, as long as Keen has a good early laning phase. I think Gen.G win this draft pretty hard. You have enough anti-tank to get through the Mundo Ornn. there is a worry that Renata keeps someone like Mundo alive for forever.
Never
But
played Onivia. Never played Onivia.
Yeah, that is a nightmare.
Never.
Sure, but I feel like it's
Huh, so he's never played the Onivia. First time Onivia for Chovy.
The disengage game.
Yeah.
Because you have Onivia, you have the side lane that
It's a pretty good Chovy champion.
Has Gen.G overcooked it? Nope. I think Onivia is very good against people that can't get over terrain, and Mundo hates that. The Ornn can break the Onivia wall, but then he has to waste a Z on it.
For chunks, just trying to soften you up. If you try to enter the fight, you're getting walled off. You're getting the Braum wall.
Also, Cassiopeia is outranged by Onivia very slightly, and that's the kind of matchup which you kind of get really punished with.
But that being said,
This was a fun draft. I can actually look, and this is the kind of game which I think Gen.G can take that slower, controlled style with a little bit of explosive pick from the Lucian Braum, which they're very good at.
Become quite tanky. You have Mundo, you have Ornn upgrades that are going to be coming through.
Is Onivia better than Vixen? Different, really.
When they got stranded in quarterfinals in 2023, found his way back to his old team a year later, and now match point. Everything on the line.
I love that.
And KT, even if they lose the next game, they'll get side selection going into that possible game number 5.
Once more onto the breach for Gen.G and KT. For Gen.G, a game in which you can turn the tides into...
Oh yeah, I made my dream team for Worlds on the LoL Esports socials.
That looming threat of elimination.
And we just picked all of the JDG 23 members there, and then have a missing ping for support because missing is gone.
It's one step further into
I think
into a miracle. And they have constantly shown throughout this series that
Oh, I missed that JDG super team. That was so fun.
I think the best fat team you could ever make is Keen, Tarzan, Chove, Ruler.
Those questions being posed. Yeah, well, you were 7-0 coming in, but it's Gen.G. So now you're going to go 3-0, and then you're going to go home, right?
And then
Does Braum shield block Renata ult? Yes, it's one of the ways you can actually play against the Callisto Renata very well.
I'll never forget Knight not knowing that Silas ult was stopped by
yeah, Braum shield. Yeah.
That was a beautiful moment against Fnatic.
It's pretty niche, but it's kind of insane.
Hellsang got him.
The vibes, right? It's something that KT themselves.
Onivia zone control could be huge. Yes, but if you ever make a mistake, then Callista throws ult at you, and you get caught out of position, you die.
Not just him, it's also BDD that is a player that is loved by so many, that is well
Okay, they're gonna
regarded
give.
both a teammate and just as one of the best mid laners in the SK. A league, by the way, where you're going up against both domestic Chovy, the
But
best
I have
player
no
of all
idea.
time, and then even players like Zeka and Showmaker on a daily basis.
There's like Mundo and Orange just run at Keen and sidelines and
Yep.
scare them. They just show up in the lane and are like, boo!
But I think eventually doesn't Keen, once he hits 2 items, just kill both of them? I'm pretty sure that Yorick has enough sustain to make it through a Mundo.
Cannot allow Yorick to get these free E's because the ghouls do so much damage, but
Okay, I am surprised
the same luxury of some
with
of
this
these other
lane
mid
set.
laners to be surrounded by superstars.
Until, well, no, you're not going to get pushed easily as the Onivia, because you need to like hold your Q for stun threat, which means you don't have AoE.
Such a long time at this point, he has been able to
You don't have AoE threat onto the wave for the push.
play at just a world elite level for years and years and years and years.
There are years that would have broken a lot
No
of
phase
players,
rush for
right?
Cassio. That's true. It's Conqueror on Cassio. That is interesting, and that means actually, if you actually ever get caught out by Braum Q, or, well, that being said, no, Cassiopeia hasn't really been running phase rush at this event, and hasn't been for a little while, actually. Isn't Ornn ult useless because of Braum shield? Yes, unless you can force the Braum shield for something else, because then the problem is if you have like Renata ult coming from the front, then you can't block the Ornn ult from the back, and the same way, because it doesn't block it in both directions, right?
But the problem is you can Onivia wall to terrain scale the forward engage.
Yep.
The problem is that Gen.G has a lot of optionality in terms of how to use their abilities. What they can't do is miscommunicate and use those abilities poorly.
Can just play for that scaling, and I mean, obviously, it can be very difficult for a jungle Mundo to get to
Again,
the promised land, the level 16. But
Gen.G is the only team in the world I know, okay, who they have the player who's probably the best in the world or something, and they will opt for him not to play it. They are a strange bunch. I would love a Western player or coach or someone. I remember Thorn went over to OGN in 2012, 2014, and he got like some good answers from like people.
Yeah.
I would love for like a little bit of like insight into like how Gen.G sees themselves.
Yeah.
Like how, because like obviously the way that Korean interview structure is it's very like forward level, like, you know what I mean? It's not very.
Well, looking forwards rather than introspective.
Yeah, no, but in the sense of like, oh, I felt like we had a good game today.
Right.
We followed our like style. You don't get the intricacies of like the deep delve. There's very little long form content of interviews.
Which is unironically why Don Jake was actually very interesting to kind of get some, just through weirdness, get like a bunch of quite unique answers out of players which wouldn't normally get that.
Just absorb that pressure and try and make sure.
Oh, Don Jake's making his way back to interviewing, by the way. For those of you, because he kind of took this year off a bit.
Difficult when you're playing against the York, because the York just crushes towers so fast.
Right.
So, you know, if you are losing the push, if you are making any mistakes, it can be incredibly punishing. But
I do love how all the Yoriks basically just use the same
Which one, the ghouls or?
No, the panda. They use the panda skin.
Yeah. Well, it's in China, and I think Flandra earlier in the year just using the panda skin, I don't know, got a lot of popularity for it. Okay, so if KT, I think in this game, again, Gen.G are probably, I mean, Kalista needs early dragons on the whole, because her Ren threat later on is kind of huge. I don't think you want to die. Ganyan, please don't die for this. Oh, that's a swing and a miss.
Ishtal's impacts away from it.
A little bit too predictable there. Canyon swarming out of his death would have definitely ended up going down there if BDD had found him with the gaze. Not the end of the world. KT still gets the dragon, which is what they were playing for. And
that's not great from Ruler. He just walked into like the full loyalty program thing there as well. But yeah, if that hits, he actually could die there.
First 2 drakes means you win the game.
Okay, you traded your health Ruler on Wave Crash. Good thing Canyon's behind you.
Damage going down onto Ruler. Heal was used by Peter as well for the chase, but Juro with a good unbreakable.
Because Ruler has one world, he doesn't get it. But like, I've got questions about Ruler, because last time Chovy and Ruler played together, Ruler had like a mare, and with the GDG one.
Yeah, in the final series, Ruler actually had a pretty bad semis versus T1 in 23. Compared to his level.
And then obviously we've seen that Ezreal game, it worked out well in the end, like it got there, but like
also in 23 semis, I think JDG forgot that they should be really getting like tank frontline for 369 for half the series. Like his Cassandra game was nuts. And then they realized, oh, we should probably play this more. Oh god.
This is also one of those games where I think
369.
Yeah.
So the you know, one cool thing that you can have in this game is the value of the Ornn items on Kalista can help make up for the range disadvantage that often comes in the fall off point.
Yeah, if you can get Kalista to critical mass where she can jump beyond the threat and kind of out DPS you. Oh, that's not bad.
But it's sometimes very difficult
good
to
minion
close the
positioning.
gap against champions with really powerful slows, right? Because the canister is going to stop your point and click.
We're gonna get 2 game 5s in 2 days. That'd be kind of sick.
Slows or anything like that.
Yeah, I think will.
Can be still walling you off.
This is a good draft from Gen.G. I do like this quite a lot.
I think that is going to be the question.
They'll make for a really interesting game 5, because Gen.G have the Aurora Flex, and Silas and Akali's still up. And Yanara's still up, and Jinx is still up. You can't ban everything.
I think you feel safe, right? You have the canister, you have the W, you have the ultimate. And that's something that hopefully.
Chovy trying to last hit that canyon there and missing it.
Oh, I've been given an embargo on having a Scottish meal classic, the chicken tikka masala. By the way, I've had too much curry recently, and I'm not allowed to have more curry in the next few days. So says my partner. A Scottish classic of tikka masala.
Yeah, it's very Glasgow.
Yeah, very.
So the deep fried burger. That's also a very Glasgow thing.
Jesus. Okay, Ruler actually doing a bunch of work. Oh my god. And again, if this series is going to be determined by... Oh, I love popping the passive there with the Onivia wall, by the way. That's kind of insane.
Okay, they're throwing.
I don't like this at all from KT. Very good Brom shield.
Oh!
BDD though. I don't know, Ruler's still fighting. He doesn't know mana. No mana. And they're not bringing top lanes. Holy crap, KT running away with us now a bit. so freaking close.
Yeah, Ruler barely limps.
I am so. I mean, it's only a 1-for-1. It's two grabs to Gen.G. I guess they still sort of get the better trade out of that. Doctam loses both summoners too.
Ruler trying to like just use ult into BDD's face.
Yeah.
And it really did feel like the series
So Ruler still has culling at this point.
Culling to the left.
That's not good at all from Ruler. And then he's actually out of mana as well because of the ult costume. I actually think it's better for him to just not use ult at all and use mana for regular abilities. No, on the second rotation.
That was amazing.
Me on the toilet when it just won't come out.
It looked like he just might have. It was
That is some constipation face right there. Oh god.
a split second too early.
Oh Jesus.
Which definitely would have been the difference for Ruler.
Hey, I ain't judging. Sometimes.
And now Onivia's reign of terror begins in the mid lane.
Yeah, I think once you get to tier catalyst, a decent amount of points in like Yuri and stuff, you just can't walk up to Onivia now. Okay, so Onivia forces you into this very binary play pattern of you can't ever stand in a dead ball state. If you ever get, hang on a second, oh, it's a really good stop. He does have flash. I don't think he dies here, no. It's just a flash out.
No, but Peter.
Now, the thing is, though, that BDD's lost an entire wave from this in mid lane. Dragon's up. Okay.
They'll get a second back. I think they get a second back. Yeah. Oh, wait, KT? I'm surprised.
Yeah,
Oh, Canyon, you can't eat those cleavers.
Oh, and he took that through the shield. He actually didn't take damage there. That's actually okay. Just get the passive. Ruler has full mana now, so he actually can fight in a way he couldn't do before.
Okay, they brought
This is a smite fight. I don't like this. Okay, so Canyon gets it. Ornalt's pretty good. Perfect! No! Just completely fucked his reactivation. Duro maybe dies for this, though? Yeah, Duro's probably just dead. Okay, so that's 2 for Dragon. 1,000 gold for KT. I mean, Gen.G is somewhat lucky to get away with that smite fight as well. Peter's been really quite threatening on the Renata.
That was scary. We all held our breaths.
And Cuz is just focusing purely on the fight. You'll notice he doesn't even try to actually
KT's setup here is a little bit messy.
Commits to this as Cuz just goes straight in.
Yeah, Cuz really just full sends it in the fight.
But watch from Perfect here. He's not really able to land the combo very well, and then whiffs the stun on the wall.
That slam lands.
I think Gen.G ended up the problem with dragon fights like this is that there are actually 2 choke points you have to control. The one is the enemy jungle and then the lower part of river. I think they chose their terrain a little poorly, so they couldn't just get a single directional fight where they could kind of use Yorick Cage and then the Onivia wall and ult to completely control the direction of the fight. They got pushed out of their choke points a little too easily.
Unexpected victories into anxiety about what could be.
BDD 2 kill. I mean, the Cassiopeia doesn't have an easy time playing this game. I actually don't think the gold lead on BDD is... I mean, it's nasty, but I don't think it's like game ending because you can actually stop the Cassiopeia from using her gold by just outranging and controlling the choke points.
We have ever gone as an organization by a long way. Before this, it was quarterfinals, and from a battle to claim ourselves the 2025 world champs, and they are looking.
He has flash. He should be safe.
Once again, the key target for Gen.G.
Run my little fucking pony.
Excuse me, it's Uma Musume now, I'll have you know.
Okay.
Lucian's getting access to bot lane plates, maybe? No, not quite. Surprised they don't stick around for 1 plate, though. Oh, they're trying to burst them out as they come back to lane.
Perfect's really chopped into his gold lead.
Peter and Doctam should just be able to walk in here.
I've just loved how Peter has actually played this game. He's really been active on the map.
No, Peter's been excellent. Honestly, Peter's been so fun to watch. I think in quarterfinals, I think he was, yeah, the most impactful player, both, I guess, technically negatively and positively for KT. But, yeah, I think this guy's been fantastic to watch. I remember watching this guy as he came up into, was he Nongshim first, Peter? Was he Nongshim when he first came in? He was really fun to watch, but then you could obviously tell there was some, like, loose edges around the way that he played, but he's so entertaining to watch.
Looking at the item spikes, Doctam has his blade. CDD ahead on the stacking. I think
By the way, I think this should be a like 2 points Q into like max W from the Onivia, by the way. Just get maximum wall length to completely control terrain. I know it's against the Orn that can break terrain. I still think it's worth it.
Which it doesn't even make sense because it's a bird.
Yeah, you have to put them on the talons, man.
No, you don't.
No, otherwise their claws get dirty.
Back me up here.
What are you talking about?
Zil. Birds don't need boots.
Nah.
I mean, what if he has cold talents?
He is an ice bird.
Yeah,
that doesn't mean they don't get cold.
What are they yapping about, man?
He is the embodiment of ice.
He's got to be constantly cold.
No.
It sounds terrible.
No way.
It does sound it.
Well,
we need like a Christmas skin
Right,
for
okay.
Onivia with little
So it's going to be good drapes for both teams. Kalista loves this drake, by the way.
Yeah, for sure. And Renata does as well. Renata completely breaks the game with this. I have to say though, KT not getting the second dragon gives a lot of air for Gen.G to breathe in though. It's a lot of free room.
You can see their bot lanes on the top side. Keen is matching them though.
It's crazy that like, KT, even though I think they're like drafted as good, is nowhere near like the levels of like terrible that like thing is drafted was previously.
What Gen.G's? Yeah, the last game, the Gen.G draft was just, it's just not a Gen.G draft. Like there are some teams I trust to be like, look, if it was peak BLG playing that kind of thing, you're like, well, whatever, they'll just skirmish the hell out of it and they'll play around that window of power because that's what they do with it. Regardless of team comp, BLG would do that anyway. So whatever, sure, they'll get away with it somehow.
Look at that cleaver. Look at that cleaver.
Yeah, the cleaver, because I think at max rank it does something like 25% max HP. Or but BDD don't be having much safety there. Great play from Peter. Very good hostile takeover. Ruler's putting everything into perfect. I don't know about that. This is not bad from Onivia, but oh, for God's sake, why are they taking fights away from the choke points? Why are Gen.G taking fights away from that choke point? Awesome play from Peter to save the cast, but also why are you going on to the flash Cassiopeia with a row? That is a massive misplay from Gen.G.
And then everyone else from KT swoops in behind the Gen.G
and so it begins.
Was untouched throughout that entire fight.
Remember, like Gen.G were very far ahead in game 1 as well, and then Canyon full sense it. This is, I mean, now you have to say, with Dragon advantage, gold lead, I think KT are back in driver's seat. I think they have the lead they need now. I think, but why are you making a play like this with this comp, you know? They have so much, you have bought yourself into a flank angle at that point. You have to take a fight from a single direction as this comp. That is the idea. Even against the Renata, it's worth it, because you can block it with the Brawl ult.
I've never seen an org that has identity crises like Gen.G does at Worlds. Yeah. It's rather impressive how often it happens.
No, not at all. And I mean, it's impatience from Gen.G.
Oh my God, KT in World Finals. What a day to be alive.
What a day.
The strength of the composition. But we had talked about how you need to play around your range. You need to play around the fact that you can wall people out and outrange.
TS KT World Finals, the Sinners Final in China. We all thought it would be BLG, but they have only merely adopted the Sun.
Oh God, yeah.
Primordial Evil is deeper.
To try to follow up, there's just no way that can ever work.
I mean, I like this comp from Gen.G, but now the problem is, now they're not playing the comp the way it's meant to be played, which is their comfort style. This team just...
Dam's going to win against Gen.G with Kalista. It's absolutely hilarious. Like,
the guy that was just like the Zarya Phalios 2 trick. And maybe an Ezreal in there too.
Ruler's having an absolute mare here.
Sam, are you very, very, very excited, Sam?
Gen.G just kind of need to like hold position.
He doesn't have flash.
Oh, that's a terrible stun.
Yeah, you gotta hold on to that shit.
And in the end, Chovy actually the one forced away.
Do you go Leandri's third here, Chovy?
This time though, Gen.G might get something out of it because Perfect also rotated over in anticipation of a possible fight, and now Keen is going to get some time.
You might need Void Staff, depending on how. Well, no, Perfect's going full 8. Yeah, no, probably do go Leandri's. Yeah.
Okay, they're beginning to like chop into this gold lead now with some of the static objectives and some of the farm on the map.
This is this is semifinals. This is semifinals. This is not quarterfinals. This is. Oh, did I not change my YouTube title?
their opponents to overgroup, try to create advantages through that side lane, but
yeah, no, it's in the YouTube title. This is the semi-final.
It feels like KT are completely in their comfort zone right now.
KT just need to try and like find a little bit like stability, find a little bit of their footing here. This pick has often betrayed Canyon, where like KT love this pick. Gen.G love Skarner, but Canyon does not. This was like their iconic, like Zig Skarner, Maokai Skarner, with Corki in the mid lane, like, but Canyon was so disattached from the team in terms of, like, and this is the big problem with like Canyon always has been, is tank play has always been very strange.
I don't even know if you're
not
breathing
strange.
at this point.
Not so good.
I don't want you to actually get out of here, man.
No, you can.
Youngdown has the Herald to control the next objective.
That are bringing
So
that to us. 2,000 gold ahead. Has shrunk with that tower falling on the bottom side. Too keen.
Dogdown 1,000 gold ahead. Gets to get to Rage Play pretty soon too.
Chemsoul for KT would be absolutely devastating for Gen.G.
Like, so much of this series has been about getting to the objective first and sitting on it. And then when Gen.G actually pick a comp that does that very well, they forget their fundamentals on how to look for a fight off of that control. I just don't get it. Gen.G are just not, I don't know, they're just not the team which we knew regionally. Gen.G at Worlds are cursed. They don't know how to play to their strengths internationally. It's insane.
My theory on it is always that they come to Worlds and they're getting smashed in scrims trying to do that, and then the scrim data then just causes them to like change live.
Okay, well now you get 2-item Callista off base onto Atakan.
This is like where Onivia is like born to fly.
Yeah.
But no one's holding midsection. They've pulled all of Gen.G down here.
Working his way down from the top side.
Yorick's going from lane to lane. They're going to give up turret top lane. Battle Herald? That's going... that's not great. This is the Onivia power spike. This is the Onivia power. Cuz has flash but uses ult. Okay, they use nothing important. They use Braum ult, that's it. Well, Braum ult's actually pretty big here. Cuz is full HP because, you know, Mundo.
But now doesn't have it. He doesn't have the button.
I don't like Gen.G starting this at all, even with the Onivia. Yeah, use the Onivia E to... Hang on, Chovy's fine, he's got phase rush. Oh, this is just Onivia gaming, man. This Onivia gaming. Oh, that's a very good Callista. No, it gets blocked by the Braum shield. Okay, it's not that great. How much can Dogdown BDD do? I don't know, it's not about Ornn ults. Skarner's dead. Onivia ult's doing a fuck ton. Oh, there we go. And that's... I don't know, man. They gave up too much gold around Herald. They gave up too much gold around Herald. Holy crap, Dogdown and BDD just massive out DPS. And then even though the Renata ult got blocked by the Braum ult, the Ornn ult was then free. Holy shit, Gen.G, they've lost control of the game. KT should 3-1, that is insane.
Crazy day, crazy morning.
And it is KT.
Some narratives just never go away. Gen.G at Worlds,
yeah.
T1 at Worlds,
yep.
Korean like low-seeded team just come in as upstart.
Ruler has also just not been threading the needle very well. Ends up tanking the Atakan midway through this. Oh no, actually that was okay from him.
This is it here, like turning to this.
He has flash and barrier by the way, and yeah, that's a nightmare from Ruler.
Just been so stalwart for
Is this not just DRX versus Gen.G 2.0 from Dom? Yeah, feels a lot like it. There's like no reason they should be winning, but they are. Ooh, we put the stats on the Rage Blade?
Guess it gives you, yeah, I don't know, it gives you a tiny bit. Wait, what, does it give you some AP in there as well? That's kind of weird.
The way I think they should be playing it is Keen just pushes in bot lane. Like, you don't start the Atakan,
no.
You put Keen on bot wave, and then when people start moving up to him, you start Atakan, and you just yo-yo like that. Back and forward, back and forward.
God, BDD's been fucking great this series, folks.
This thingy is just not doing it.
Gen.G have not had
that's what's it called? That's
you expect from the LCK #1
that's the Yorick team fight.
No.
You know what I mean?
And also the Yorick hasn't got an individual lead. It's before really you need second item on Yorick for them to really start to take off, and Keen has just not managed to get to that.
Yeah, because he's gripped for the team fights.
I think it's so damning that Gen.G, despite being overwhelming favorites in 24 and 25, don't even make finals either time.
And 22.
And 22 as well. Yeah, yeah.
No, everyone forgets we're favourites in 22 as well.
Yep, true. Yeah, I mean, Gen.G never making a World Finals is... That's ridiculous. It is utterly ridiculous.
On Canyon, there's also the Renata. Even Ornn becomes so much harder to kill, and this is going to be...
I think the gold lead's still manageable here for Gen.G.
I don't know, with the way they're playing, I just don't trust it. Now, what you're hoping is Gen.G managed to take a single directional fight with Onivia kind of stopping a bunch of follow-up and kind of slowing KT into the play. My issue is that now you have so much extra gold onto Dogdam with the Renata behind them. Then Dogdam can force the fight whenever he has flash. Just flash beyond the first CC, get Renata into the play to get Braum Shield, and then Ornn will get the ults as the Braum Shield wears out. Because Gen.G don't have the gold lead to take a fight in 2 parts where they get to block both of the big ultimates or stop KT getting the big engage.
The thing for KT is as well, if they ever get a small moment...
Hero just has to not go forward. He's just got to be a really static target for his team.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm still not crazy concerned. I still think there's a lot to be played for here. I still think Gen.G are playing very poorly though, so I'm concerned for them in the whole tournament.
Moving to the mid lane. As KT
right, yeah, Trevi is going Landry's,
yeah. Because they've moved Ornn over for like a little section.
And Trevi is maxing his, he did max his wall second, so that's good. So it's his...
For just a very slow build, right? You know, you are going for so much scaling.
I don't think that, I think the thingy game was terrible for Trophy, like the
Oriana game is very bad, yeah, very bad.
Yeah, but I don't think it's another game on him, like, whatsoever. I think
no, this one's not on him, but the Ori game was. I'll say that game 1 was on Canyon, the Vi, I mean, the pick was... I actually think the pick was fine. It's not the best pick there, but I think that they were, from the point they were in the game, they should have won it, and then Canyon goes way too deep in mid lane, kind of misuses their lead. And then game 2, which was game 2? They won that one, yeah, okay. And then game 3, yeah, I think that one probably was on Trevi. So 1 game's on Canyon, 1 game's on Trevi. And then this game, I think you'd argue it's a mix of, I don't know. Actually, I mean, I think pretty much everyone but Trevi actually this game. Zero's been fine, I suppose, but there's too much for him to do.
There's all the CC from Perfect. You already highlighted the
like the crazy thing is here, Gen.G have only locked out all these fights. There's been a lot of low health bars. Gen.G's only locked in 1 kill. So that like this 3,000 gold leads is basically just all these skirmishes and all these fights that they've taken. Now it looks like with the setup here, they're going to be on the objective first. But like they're committing a lot into this little pocket here.
Another Raw item through, that's 1 for BDD. Gets the extra cooldown reduction from Cosmic Drive.
Dragon River to start us off, Cuz can walk wherever he pleases. As the Bella's
didn't make it to the Leandries.
Didn't make it to Leandries. I think they're misusing their zone control a little bit here. Callista Poke is actually doing quite decent work here now. You don't want to lose the Maiden. Keen, you don't want to lose your ult like that. Not having Maiden for this fight is kind of huge now. And they've given up control of the river. That's not bad. That's much better. Is he going to pop his ult? He doesn't even pop... Okay, so he pops his ult. A little bit of healing reduction from the Lucian, but I don't think it matters too much. But then they get onto the Dragon. Gen.G have not controlled the space well. So this is for Soul. That's not bad from Onivia again, actually. Ornn can't get the reactivation, but they get the Soul. But I don't know. Do they just not have damage now? I'm pretty sure they don't. Is this the first Callista pick this world? It's definitely one of few. They can try and get them away from mid-turret, but Onivia is just doing Onivia shit. But just, I don't know, man. Chemtech Soul is just so disgusting with this comp. There's so many people that survive at low HP, and Renata makes it harder.
Sacrifice the tier 1, but a
uphill battle, definitely. But the thing is, it's like
Onivia Lucian can't cut 3 tanks. Onivia very much can cut 3 tanks, but you need like 4 items with this kind of build. You need Leandries and Void Staff, really. And now they can't they just run at Baron with oh, Canyon. Okay, he gets out. Okay, so that was the big play that KT were looking for to try and pin the jungler into the play. Canyon can heal off of Wolves and then Braum, but I don't think... Yeah, this is Baron. I don't think they can contest this now, no? They're not in position quickly enough. Canyon doesn't have flash to get closer. They need to trap him in the pit, but they have loads of flashes to get out. They have too many flashes to get out. They get Drat Baron and they'll get out. They don't need to commit to the fight. Keen's run down now. Doctem can just space him, pretty sure. That's very good from BDT. Holy shit, man. That's very good from BDT. Oh my god, man. How have KT managed to do this? How have they done this? This team just does not give a fuck.
And I think, again, like, not to really take away from them, but it really is just an identity crisis. Ruler's despairing now.
But I think this is something that we talked about before in terms of, you know, sometimes with T1 play at their same level and everyone else kind of falters under the bright lights. It's credit to KT that this is the best that they've played the whole year and it's on the highest pressure stage. Like, not many teams can genuinely say that. Genuinely, it is very, very hard to play your best under the highest pressure, and I think KT are doing that.
Sometimes it's just easier for the underdog, and there's like different types of pressure. I always talk about this with Thorn, where it's like Uzi was great when it was like Worlds because there was no expectation.
Yeah.
LPL finals, because he lost so many consecutively.
Yeah, it just became a bugbear.
Yeah, it became a bugbear. Like, it became like a crux for him, and I think that's what's happening to Gen.G.
Oh my god, Gen.G. This is just, well, it's generational levels of the failure for them, isn't it? I don't know. You can take one tournament in its own context and say, well, you know, that's a big failure. But just having a history of such year-on-year dominance for everything except Worlds is crushing.
Here's the crazy thing for me right now is, like, and not to say, I still think the biggest problem at Worlds continues, and it's been a couple of times now, it's continued to be like Canyon on Gen.G. He's an amazing player, but like, this game, the Vi game, the Pantheon game, like, the Pantheon, yes, it wasn't like, the pick just wasn't good, you know what I mean? Like, as in, like, yeah, like, Chovy's Orianna was, like, part of the problem, right? But,
the funniest possible thing now is Top Esports upsets T1 and we have Top Esports KT in the finals.
Oh.
Okay, that's one shield down. I don't think you can make it back from this kind of lead against the Soul as well. You just don't have the damage. You need another item. Ruler has been very quiet this series to see.
No Kai'Sa, no Giants.
You can see the terrain and how Gen.G really want to control areas of the map, but they just don't have the damage now.
Then they can just soak Peter up.
Yep. I think the Mundo pick has been a lot more effective than I thought it would be too, because Kuz has just been able to shrug off the slow damage. That is okay from Kennen.
But again, you look at the upgraded items on the Ornn, it's the upgraded magic resistance.
Did Chovy win an MSI without double limb? No, but also he went through the upper bracket in both, so that's a moot point. So he didn't lose the series. Oh, okay. He does have flash coming up now. Okay, that's a free kill.
But it's not Elder. It's taken ages. Okay.
How much gold is this? It's not a crazy amount of gold, is it? Or maybe it's a little bit, actually. I didn't see exactly how much that was.
It's 1,000 gold, 890 plus AoE.
Chovy has Leandries, but he really needs a Void Staff. He needs to get the Blighting Jewel ASAP. Ruler's... I mean, he has the pan item. I don't know. I just don't think they'll have the damage. Their comp is very good when they get to late game on an even keel. They're not an even keel, and they haven't got the items they need yet.
You can just feel the wheels of fate turning here in
I think, do you hit this as Keen? It could cost you your life.
You are calling that correctly. So now he's actually going to die for the Elder Spawn. Oh, Keen. Oh, God, no. They're delaying it so he won't be alive.
Yeah. Okay, Keen, you need to run. You need to, like, run.
I mean, BDD has teleport anyway, so that doesn't matter much. Oh, Keen. That is a sad, sad death.
It's fine. Okay, I'm not saying it's fine. What I'm saying is Gen.G has a response to this, right? You need to kill this wave, and you need to try and get the next one. You got to just try and delay them once with Onivia, and you've got TP. They're going to be on top of the objectives for like 2.
My problem is then they just flash beyond it. Oh no, actually they don't have many flashes. That's fair. They don't have Callisto ult right now. That'll be up. Oh no, they won't have Callisto ult for Callisto ult for the start of it. So that will be Keen be able to get back into position. It does mean that Gen.G don't get sideline threat, but actually the death onto Keen is not as impactful as it could have been.
They need to start now. They need to like.
You need to be delaying now. You need to be delaying like ASAP.
Okay, yep. Okay, there's a 10 seconds.
Chovy's clearing bot waves, so you can't control space around this thing, which means that Callisto can get into this. BDD is on an insane angle. Okay, teleporting from the Yorick, but hang on, Callisto ults. Doesn't get that much done. Okay, Chovy's got them all. Oh my god, the Onivia damage is insane, no? Oh, that's some Onivia damage. Chovy's doing some fucking work here, folks, despite the gold lead.
Right.
BDD has flashback up. BDD has flashback up. He can get the killer play here. BDD's still looking for the flank.
Can you?
You need to protect the maiden if you can.
Chovy just controlling that space beautifully. Gen.G
Jesus Christ, that's the Onivia value. You just need to bait them back into a choke point. If you can take a single directional fight, Gen.G can still win this. But KT just has... I mean, the Mundo is freaking unkillable, man. Chovy's playing a decent angle onto Cuz there, actually. That's some good damage onto him, but they have to run into it. Oh, Canyon. Redemption's not bad. This is a slow-ass fight. Okay, not bad on Onivia stun. Okay, but they get the Elder. That's it. Elder's gone. There you go. That's it. Gen.G losing in another World Semifinals.
Peter can't believe himself. Congratulations to KT.
KT, I cannot believe it. KT Rolster. With this roster, they couldn't do it with the 2018 Super Team. They couldn't do it in 2013 when they, when they were going toe-to-toe with SKT 2013. They couldn't do it in 2014 despite winning 2014 Summer. They couldn't do it in 2018 with the Super Team. And they do it with fucking this team, which was seen as like the joke team of the LCK. Reminder, folks, that people were saying, oh, they're by far the weakest of the Asian teams. KT, they're the beatable one. They're just in a World fucking Finals, folks. Holy shit. Holy shit. Thank you for the bits, by the way. Thank you, cheer. Thank you for the cheer, Everest. Holy crap! Chovy, Keen, and Ruler, and Canyon. I can't believe it happened to Gen.G again. I cannot believe it. Against this matchup. Are we getting a fucking Telecom war for World Finals? That's insane.
Maybe a team with... I hate when Ellis does this. A team with what many would consider no superstar players, arguably BDD. BDD's a superstar player. He's a top 5, he's a top 3 player in the world. He's a top 3 player in the whole world. Like,
yep.
BDD is incredible.
Yeah.
Like,
BDD had a fucking monster series, folks. That is ridiculous. Oh, Gen.G. Oh, by the way, folks, what happens to Gen.G after this? I am not going to lie, with 2 years of this, what happens to the Gen.G roster? You know?
Yep.
Do they run it back again? I mean, presumably they put a lot into League, but what happens for next year? Do they knee jerk again? Well, I mean, does one of I mean, put it this way: do you drop Canyon and bring in Tarzan if you can get him?
Here's like the biggest thing for me. I actually think nothing. Gen.G's problem is just like the actual Worlds environment. It is actually just like when they go to Worlds. Like, I don't know if it's Chovy, we don't know like a lot about the team.
Special moment, folks. This is a genuinely special moment.
The immortal score, the tenacity of coming back as a coach, bringing this team to finals. They've done it before. We doubted them. They had not dropped a game coming into this series.
Oh my god. They've made it to finals by dropping only a single game. That's insane. Oh my god, KT to World Finals. I think Canyon's completely made... I think he's tarnishing his legacy here, folks. I do genuinely think Canyon is the greatest jungler of all time, but his 2025 has been a rough one. Given the level that his team's been performing, he was the weak link across the year. In this series... Well, Canyon wasn't great, but I don't think Chovy's made himself any prouder with this one. Ruler was very quiet. Chovy's finishes at Worlds. Top 8, top 8, top 8, top 4, top 8, top 4, top 4. Fucking hell, man.
I mean, and again, an incredibly historic moment for KT, crushing for Gen.G.
I mean, KT, real credit to them. They've managed to, like, they've been a very aware team. They really understand what makes them strong and what makes other teams strong, and fighting against it well.
Circumstances to fall out of the tournament, but the team that they elevate couldn't, I think, be more deserving. A team that is literally characterized...
DRX vibes.
Yes, but this team even more doubted.
Holy shit, man. Considering that Perfect was like being called a dirty inter and everything. Holy crap. Okay, folks. Well, I'm probably going to leave the stream there. So thanks for joining me. Again, if you are watching, we have a sponsor for this month, which is Opera GX. If you'd like to download from the link, which is in chat, it makes an awful lot of difference to us. Yeah. Makes an awful lot of difference to us, and it, yeah, helps us support the stream. Very crazy day.
In themselves, and also an understanding of how to execute them from top to bottom. We
Yeah, well, T1 will probably win Worlds then.
Yeah, I think obviously T1 look at this and you're like, well, KT, we know about those. I mean, but then again, KT, it would be the craziest thing, man. Okay, folks, I'm gonna head off now. Thanks, Kira, for joining me as well. Any last words for the series?
All those things on Gen.G, all of them. Some maybe they nullified themselves a little bit, but
Good day.
I just cannot believe I just can't believe that Gen.G fucking bottled it again. Especially after the HLE is like, oh, that's definitely got to be the finals and blah blah blah, and couldn't cut it versus KT. That's insane. HLE couldn't do it, but KT could. That's just such peak KT. Okay, I'm gonna head off then. Well, thanks everyone for joining me, and I'll see you next time.
Bye everyone.
I gotta go find someone to raid over to.